ओके अच्छा, मॉर्निंग अनुराग, नाउ इट्स क्लियर। मॉर्निंग रचित, फाइन। कल बहुत काम था, कल पढ़ रहे थे, कल रिवाइज कर रहे थे, राइट। मैच नहीं देखा किसी ने? अच्छा, नो क्रिकेट फैंस, ठीक है। मैच देखा? अब से रोज ना 8 बजे ऐसे मेंटोर सेशन होगा, लगभग 20 मिनट 25 मिनट का। देन योर रेगुलर क्लासेस विल स्टार्ट। क्लास के बाद फिर रुकना, ठीक है, 15-20 मिनट, विल बेसिकली रिवाइज, ठीक है। वो कंसोलिडेट करेंगे क्लास में, विल ट्राई, है ना। उसके बाद आपके ऑप्शनल क्लासेस होगी। अच्छा नीतीश, आपने देखा? मॉर्निंग सोमा, मॉर्निंग मॉर्निंग, प्लीज टेक अ सीट। लेट्स स्टार्ट देन, ठीक है। स्पोर्ट्स स्पोर्ट कोई नहीं देखता वैसे, स्पोर्ट्स, क्रिकेट, फुटबॉल, कोई कुछ नहीं देखता? हाँ, कबड्डी, ओके। क्या है फेवरेट स्पोर्ट? कबड्डी है? फेवरेट स्पोर्ट कौन सा? कबड्डी है? व्हाट इज अ फेवरेट स्पोर्ट? वॉलीबॉल, ओके। योर? ओके, योर फेवरेट स्पोर्ट? कबड्डी। योर फेवरेट स्पोर्ट? ओके, बैडमिंटन, स्केटिंग, ओके, यू डू स्केटिंग, गुड गुड। मॉर्निंग निकिता, व्हाट्स योर फेवरेट स्पोर्ट्स? ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, अनुराग, रचित, सोमा, निकिता, अदिति, ओके। बैडमिंटन, स्विमिंग, टाइम नहीं मिलता सोमा को, ओके। कावेरी प्लेज लॉट ऑफ स्पोर्ट, फुटबॉल, क्रिकेट, टेनिस, ओके ओके। क्रिकेट, स्विमिंग, अब है क्रिकेट, ओके। नाउ वी आर गेटिंग क्रिकेट फैंस। निशु, क्रिकेट। मॉर्निंग मसूद, मॉर्निंग, क्रिकेट, टेनिस, गुड गुड। तो एक चीज बताओ, क्रिकेट में होता क्या है? व्हाट आर द बेसिक रूल्स ऑफ क्रिकेट? एक पिच होता है, ठीक है, ग्राउंड होता है, देर आर 2 टीम्स, 11 प्लेयर्स ईच, है ना, है ना। 1 टीम डज बॉलिंग, 1 टीम डज बैटिंग, ठीक है। फुटबॉल में क्या होता है? बेसिक रूल क्या है फुटबॉल का? व्हाट इज द बेसिक रूल ऑफ फुटबॉल? बेसिक रूल फुटबॉल का, इन बेसिक रूल मतलब इन जनरल बेसिक रूल ये है ना कि पैर से खेला जाएगा, है ना। और नाउ इमेजिन अ सिचुएशन कि फुटबॉल खेल रहे हैं, ठीक है। अब कोई खेलते खेलते हाथ से उठा के भाग के गोल कर रहा है, तो क्या होगा? फाउल होगा, है ना। मतलब उसका बेसिक रूल क्या है? फुट से खेलना, राइट। वी शुड प्ले फुटबॉल बाय फुट, ठीक है। एंड इफ यू आर वायलेटिंग इट, जैसे बताया कि कोई प्लेयर नो हाथ से लेके भाग रहा तो वायलेट होगा, है ना, रूल वायलेट हो रहा है तो फाउल हो जाएगा, ठीक है। ये रूल बेसिकली कोडिफाइड फॉर्म में होगा, इन जनरल ऐसी डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं हम लोग, राइट। कोडिफाइड फॉर्म में होगा, मतलब मैं अगर फुटबॉल श्रीनगर में खेलूं, चेन्नई में खेलूं या ईटानगर में खेलूं, रूल्स सेम होंगे मेरे लिए उस फुटबॉल के इन जनरल, है ना। कोडिफाइड फॉर्म में होंगे ताकि सबको पता हो क्या है। क्यों कोडिफाइड फॉर्म में होना जरूरी है? क्योंकि यूनिफॉर्मिटी मेंटेन होगी, है ना। इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ लोकेशन द रूल विल बी यूनिफॉर्म, ठीक है, फॉर एवरी वन एवरीवेयर, गेटिंग इट, गुड, ठीक है। और क्या होगा रूल का? क्या है? इट क्लियरली डिफाइंड रूल्स, है ना, कि 2 अपोजिट टीम है, हर प्लेयर फॉरवर्ड, जैसे फुटबॉल है फॉर एग्जांपल, सामने वाला जो फॉरवर्ड प्लेयर्स वो क्या करते हैं, गोलकीपर का क्या रोल होगा, इट्स डिफाइंड, ठीक है। तो वी कैन से दैट एवरी रूल बेसिकली मेक्स अप अ स्पोर्ट, ठीक है। कि रूल अगर सही हो तभी वो स्पोर्ट बनाता है, ठीक है, मतलब रूल आर द एसेंस ऑफ स्पोर्ट, रूल हेल्प्स गवर्निंग अ स्पोर्ट, बोल सकते हैं, मॉर्निंग बोल सकते हैं, रूल्स हेल्प गवर्निंग अ स्पोर्ट बोल सकते हैं। तो ये भी चीज हम बोल सकते हैं कि हर स्पोर्ट के लिए, फॉर एवरी स्पोर्ट, ठीक है, लाइक हॉकी, बैडमिंटन, स्केटिंग, टेनिस, देयर विल बी डिफरेंट रूल्स, है ना। अब उसमें कुछ रूल्स हो सकते हैं कॉमन हो, जैसे फुटबॉल और क्रिकेट में 11 प्लेयर्स होते हैं, ठीक है, फॉर एवरी स्पोर्ट देयर विल बी डिफरेंट रूल्स, बोल सकते हैं। ठीक वैसे ही वी हैव सोसाइटीज, है ना, ठीक है। सोसाइटी में क्या होते हैं, लोग होते हैं, देर आर डिफरेंट कम्युनिटीज इन अ सोसाइटी। जैसे एक स्पोर्ट में खेल रहे हो तो डिफरेंट प्लेयर्स हैं, वैसे एक सोसाइटी में डिफरेंट कम्युनिटीज हैं, है ना। रूल्स स्पोर्ट्स को गवर्न कर रहे हैं, सेम, एकदम सेम, ठीक है, दीज रूल्स गवर्न सोसाइटी, कैसे रहेंगे, ठीक है। अब आप ही ने बताया था मुझे, कहाँ बताया था, एक मिनट, हाँ, आप ही ने बताया था कि क्यों जरूरी है रूल का, क्यों जरूरी है, यूनिफॉर्मिटी, है ना, क्लियरली डिफिनेशन ऑफ रोल्स, ठीक है, कोऑर्डिनेशन, ब्रिंग्स फेयरनेस इन गेम, गुड अदिति, ठीक है। तो कोऑर्डिनेशन होना चाहिए प्लेयर्स के बीच में, स्पोर्ट्स में प्लेयर्स के बीच में कोऑर्डिनेशन होना चाहिए, सोसाइटी में कम्युनिटीज के बीच में कंसेंसस या कोऑर्डिनेशन होना चाहिए, तब जाके वो लोग इजीली हार्मनी के साथ जी सकते हैं, देयर विल बी हार्मनी इन द सोसाइटी, गेटिंग इट, ठीक है। अब इंडियन सोसाइटी की बात करते हैं। वी हैव इंडियन सोसाइटी विच इज ए वेरी लार्ज सोसाइटी, ठीक है। जैसे स्पोर्ट्स में, एक स्पोर्ट में डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ प्लेयर्स या डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ कम्युनिटीज है, बेस्ड ऑन लैंग्वेज, बेस्ड ऑन, है ना, हेट्रोजेनियस सोसाइटी है, बेस्ड ऑन रीजन, रिलीजन डिफरेंट, है ना। अगर लैंग्वेज लें तो कोई तमिल से है, तमिल किसी का मदर टंग है, ठीक है, किसी का मलयालम है, किसी का कन्नड़ है, किसी का तेलुगु है, किसी का पंजाबी है, ठीक है, किसी का भोजपुरी है, गेटिंग इट। तो अब अगर रूल इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर गवर्निंग, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, है ना, रूल इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर गवर्निंग, तो इंडियन सोसाइटी के केस में वो रूल क्या होगा जो कि गवर्न कर रहा होगा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, गेटिंग इट। देखो सोसाइटी जो होता है ना, एक थोड़ा वो टर्म है, पहले था सोसाइटी, लेकिन अ मॉडर्न स्टेट ग्रेजुअली इवॉल्व्स इन मतलब दिस सोसाइटी ग्रेजुअली इवॉल्व्स इनटू स्टेट, ठीक है, चीजें वही हैं, लोग वही हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा और फॉर्मलाइज हो गया है, उसको गवर्न करने के लिए कुछ रूल्स की जरूरत होती है, वो रूल इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, ठीक है, इंडिया में, गेटिंग इट, रिलेशन क्लियर हुआ, आगे बढ़ता हूं। अब ये इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की बात हो गई। इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कोडिफाइड है, मतलब रिटन फॉर्म में, है ना। तो अगर देखें कोई भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन या रूल, जो भी, मतलब रूल्स को मैं मतलब वेरी लूज टर्म यूज कर रहा हूँ समझाने के लिए, बस मेन चीज ये है, ठीक है। रिटन भी हो सकता है, अनरिटन भी हो सकता है। रिटन है अपना इंडिया का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, रिटन है। अनरिटन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कौन सा है, यूके है ना, और कौन सा है, एनी आइडिया? नो, कनाडा इज रिटन। हाँ, जस्ट सोचो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, जस्ट ब्रेनस्टॉर्म। नो, यूएस इज रिटन, सो माय यूएस इज रिटन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। फ्रांस इज आल्सो रिटन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज में एक और है, अपार्ट फ्रॉम लाइक यूके, न्यूजीलैंड, इसका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है बट कोडिफाइड नहीं है, इसलिए अनरिटन बोल देते हैं, ठीक है। इजराइल हैज अनरिटन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ठीक है, जस्ट फॉर फैक्ट, रिमेंबर दिस। दोनों सेम है, ठीक है। कोडिफाइड मतलब देर आर डिफरेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स, उसको मैंने एक कोड में कर दिया या कोडिफाइड कर दिया, एक डॉक्यूमेंट बना दिया, तो वही रिटर्न हो जाता है, ठीक है। इफ इट इज नॉट कोडिफाइड, मतलब अभी भी अलग अलग, नॉट क्लियर्ड, नॉट स्ट्रक्चर्ड, एक जगह कंपाइल्ड नहीं है तो वो अनरिटन है, ठीक है, इसका कोई स्ट्रक्चर नहीं, ठीक है। जैसे ब्रिटिश जो यूके है, इट इज मोर बेस्ड ऑन कन्वेंशंस, ठीक है। तो बेसिकली एक चीज बताओ, अब दुनिया में ना हर कंट्री, एवरी कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड हैज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ठीक है। अब जरूरी नहीं है कि एवरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन शुड बी डेमोक्रेटिक, है ना, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, गुड, अब इजराइल, गुड, सऊदी अरेबिया, है ना, आयरिश हैज आई थिंक रिटन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, वैष्णवी। तो एवरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जरूरी नहीं कि वो डेमोक्रेटिक हो, ठीक है। अब विल मूव टुवर्ड्स व्हाई, विल मूव टुवर्ड्स मोर डिटेल्स कि व्हाई वी नीड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। जस्ट द बेसिक, जैसे स्पोर्ट्स में व्हाई वी नीड रूल्स, तो यहां भी सेम होगा, ठीक है। यू सेड ना यूनिफॉर्मिटी होनी चाहिए, ठीक है, इन वेरी लूज टर्म्स, ठीक है, और क्या, रोल डिफाइन होना चाहिए, राइट। तो राइट दिस डाउन, व्हाई वी नीड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन प्रोवाइड्स गुड एट्रिया टू गवर्न द स्टेट प्रॉपर्ली, तो आई एम बेसिकली डिक्टेटिंग, प्लीज राइट, ठीक है। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन प्रोवाइड्स set of basic rules, constitution provides set of basic rules that allows minimal coordination, among members of the society, minimal coordination among members of the society. It lays down certain ideals, principles, and tell us the fundamental nature of society. Second point, Constitution specifies who has the power to make decisions. Constitution specifies who has the power to make decisions in a society. Constitution specifies who has the power to make decisions in a society. अब स्पोर्ट में देख लो, क्रिकेट है, फुटबॉल है, इन टीम स्पोर्ट बेसिकली विद इन द ग्राउंड कौन डिसीजन लेता है, कैप्टन लेता है, ठीक है। तो इसमें कौन होगा, या तो अलग अलग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के लिए कहीं प्राइम मिनिस्टर होगा, कहीं प्रेसिडेंट होगा, कहीं पार्लियामेंट हो रही होगी, गेटिंग इट, ठीक है। तो ये सेकंड पॉइंट क्लियर है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन स्पेसिफाइज हु हैज द पावर टू मेक डिसीजंस इन अ सोसाइटी, ठीक। थर्ड पॉइंट, point 1, okay, अब है, just a second. Point 1 is a constitution provide set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination among members of the society. It lays down certain ideals and principles. Certain ideals and principles and tells us the fundamental nature of society. Now third point, constitution set limits on what a government can impose on its citizens. The government may never trespass them. अब how it limits government? जुडिशरी एक पार्ट है, और एक क्या है, यू हैव बेसिकली फंडामेंटल राइट्स ना, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर यू हैव फंडामेंटल राइट्स ना। अब किसी को भी आर्बिट्रली अरेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, राइट, ठीक, यू हैव अ फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच एंड एक्सप्रेशन, राइट, ठीक है। तो ये गवर्नमेंट जो है नॉर्मली कभी ट्रेसपास नहीं करेगी। दीज आर योर फंडामेंटल राइट्स। ठीक है। फोर्थ पॉइंट, सोहम these are mix of Lakshmikant, NCRTs and my notes. Fourth point, Constitution enables the government. Constitution enables the government to fulfill. Constitution enables the government to fulfill the aspirations of society. Fulfill aspirations of a society and create conditions for a just society. And create conditions for a just society. अब इसको कैसे होगा, इसको कैसे करते हैं? How can constitution fulfill aspirations of the people or create conditions for a just society? हाँ, मतलब बेसिकली वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी। ठीक है, दो चीज है, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, सेकेंड चीज है डीपीएसपी, है ना। दीज आर बेसिकली गवर्नमेंट लिमिट कर रहा है, गवर्नमेंट कैन नॉट ट्रेसपास देम। ठीक है, तो गवर्नमेंट के लिए नेगेटिव हुआ टाइप्स, है ना। ठीक है, बट गवर्नमेंट का ये भी रोल है टू क्रिएट एन एनेबलिंग कंडीशन सो दैट सोसाइटी बहुत अनइक्वल है, इन टर्म्स ऑफ सोशो इकोनॉमिक सोसाइटी इज वेरी अनइक्वल। तो अगर मैं सिर्फ ट्रेसपास, मतलब मैं सिर्फ आपके राइट्स दे दिया हूँ और छोड़ दूं मैं, और सोसाइटी अनइक्वल है, तो वो डेवलप नहीं हो पाएगा, राइट। एट लास्ट हम लोग क्या चाह रहे हैं, इगैलिटेरियन सोसाइटी चाह रहे हैं, है ना। तो यहाँ अगर गवर्नमेंट चुप बैठ गया तो सोसाइटी अपने आप इगैलिटेरियन नहीं होगी। तो वी नीड टू क्रिएट कंडीशंस, वी नीड टू इम्प्लीमेंट स्कीम्स, ठीक है, जो कि हेल्प करे सोसाइटी के जो गोल्स है उसको अचीव करने में। ठीक है, तो डीपीएसपी हेल्प्स इन दैट। कैसे करेगा? फॉर एग्जाम्पल आर्टिकल 39A, जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल, राइट टू फ्री लीगल एड। ठीक है, जो लोग लीगल फीस अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते उनके लिए, फॉर द पुअर बेसिकली, राइट टू फ्री लीगल एड फॉर द पुअर। इस साल का क्वेश्चन भी है नालसा का, है ना। तो नालसा का क्वेश्चन था, राइट। तो ये इसी से आता है ना, आर्टिकल 39A से इसका बैकग्राउंड है ये। ठीक है, राइट टू फ्री लीगल एड, इसी से लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी एक्ट, इसी से इंस्पायर होके गवर्नमेंट ने लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी एक्ट 1987 बनाया, वहां से नालसा का फॉर्मेशन हुआ। यस सोमा, डीपीएसपी, गुड। ठीक है, तो डीपीएसपी क्या है? आर्टिकल 36 से 51। ठीक है, इसमें डिफरेंट टाइप्स के प्रिंसिपल्स हैं, सम आर सोशलिस्टिक, सम आर लिबरल। हाँ, सॉरी, नाउ इट्स क्लियर। ठीक है, तो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ प्रिंसिपल्स हैं। ठीक है, लिबरल प्रिंसिपल्स है, कुछ गांधीयन प्रिंसिपल्स है, कुछ सोशलिस्टिक प्रिंसिपल्स हैं, जो कि जस्ट कंडीशंस बना रहे हैं सोसाइटी में। गेटिंग इट? लास्ट पॉइंट, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिटरमाइंस डीपीएससी। अच्छा, डीपीएसपी का फुल फॉर्म, ओके, डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी। डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी। फिफ्थ पॉइंट, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिटरमाइंस रिलेशन बिटवीन सिटीजन्स and between citizens government, between citizens and citizens government। ठीक है, नाउ विल मूव टुवर्ड्स मेकिंग ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। कैसे बना, क्या बैकग्राउंड था, थोड़ा ब्रीफली डिस्कस किए थे पिछले क्लास में, है ना। पार्टीशन था, पार्टीशन हो गया था, पार्टीशन रिलेटेड वायलेंस था, देयर वाज अ ट्रॉमा, है ना। और क्या था? वेरी ह्यूज पॉवर्टी, एंड इंडिया वाज नेवर अ बाइंडेड कंट्री बाय देन। बहुत सारे प्रिंसली स्टेट्स थे, राइट। और क्या था ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, और क्या था? व्हाट वर द बैकग्राउंड? देयर वाज ह्यूज डाइवर्सिटी। अब सब लोग एक साथ रहना क्यों चाहेंगे, यू नो, एकदम अलग अलग लोग क्यों रहना चाहेंगे, राइट? तो ये सब चैलेंजेस थी। और क्या था? हाँ हाँ, लिंग्विस्टिक, दैट वाज अ चैलेंज, राइट? बट एक एडवांटेज था बेसिकली, क्या था? इंडियन फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल। मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री में यू हैव रेड अबाउट इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस सेशंस। हाँ हाँ, धीरे धीरे कैसे आया स्ट्रगल में, यू नो, नेशनलिज्म का, यू नो, वैल्यू क्रिएट हुआ। इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस सेशंस में हर साल होते थे लगभग, इंपॉर्टेंट सेशंस थे मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री में, लाइक थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया होगा आप लोगों को, है ना? तो क्या होता था इसमें? बेसिक कंसेंसस बन चुका था। इफ यू सी लाहौर सेशन, इफ यू सी कराची सेशन, बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी कि द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो भी बनेगा, इट शुड हैव बेस ऑफ इक्वालिटी, इट शुड हैव फ्रीडम, है ना, इट शुड हैव यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट फ्रेंचाइजेस, मतलब हर किसी को वोट देने का अधिकार होता है। 1919 एक्ट में हमने पढ़ा था ना कि इट वाज बेस्ड ऑन अ लिमिटेड फ्रेंचाइजी, राइट? कि जो टैक्स दे रहा है, जिसके पास थोड़ा बहुत एजुकेशन है, वही वोट कर सकता है। मॉर्निंग। तो इनका ऐसा था कि नहीं, सबको देंगे, वोट देने का अधिकार सबको होगा। ठीक है, गॉट इट? तो इस बैकग्राउंड में बेसिकली स्टार्ट होता है मेकिंग ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। तो फर्स्ट डिमांड ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली किसने की थी? एनी आइडिया मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री में? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनेगा तो उसके लिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली की जरूरत होती है ना, वो डिमांड। हाँ बोलो बोलो। एम एन रॉय, गुड अदिति। एम एन रॉय, गुड वैष्णवी, गुड अभय, एम एन रॉय, है ना? तो एम एन रॉय ने बेसिकली फर्स्ट डिमांड की थी, है ना? उसके बाद 19 वो कब किया था? 1934 में, राइट? उन्होंने 1934 में डिमांडेड बाय एम एन रॉय फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम। 1935 में ऑफिशियल इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस ने डिमांड की। ठीक है, 1940 क्या हुआ था यहाँ? क्या था ब्रिटिश का? कौन सा था? अगस्त ऑफर, राइट? यहां इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूव हुआ था कि ठीक है, विल क्रिएट सम काइंड ऑफ मैकेनिज्म, कॉन्स्टिट्यूट असेंबली टाइप का। देन 1942 में क्रिप्स मिशन आया, है ना? यहां इट टॉक्ड अबाउट अ यूनाइटेड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, बट मुस्लिम लीग रिजेक्टेड इट। ठीक है, क्योंकि इट वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट यूनाइटेड, बट मुस्लिम लीग वांटेड अनदर, यू नो, कंट्री। देन उसके बाद 1946, ठीक है, इसमें क्या था? कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान। ये सब है कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान। ठीक है, तो कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान में यहां से, यू नो, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली का जो फॉर्मेशन है, जो बेसिस है, दिस कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान। ठीक है, अब इसके अंदर दो तीन चीज थी, लाइक इट इज वेरी मच फैक्चुअल, इसको मत नोट करो, बस सुन लो कि टोटल स्ट्रेंथ 389 थी, इसमें से 296 शुड बी फ्रॉम ब्रिटिश इंडिया एंड 93 फ्रॉम प्रिंसली स्टेट्स। ठीक है, एंड ईच प्रोविंसेस एंड प्रिंसली स्टेट्स वेर अलॉटेड सीट्स इन प्रोपोर्शन टू देयर रेस्पेक्टिव पॉपुलेशन। सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट से, है ना, उनके रेस्पेक्टिव पॉपुलेशन से उनको कुछ कुछ सीट अलॉट हुआ था। ठीक है, सीट्स डिवाइडेड इन प्रिंसिपल कम्युनिटीज। ठीक है, मुस्लिम्स, सिख्स एंड जनरल्स इन ब्रिटिश प्रोविंसेस। ठीक है, ब्रिटिश प्रोविंसेस में 3 कम्युनिटी में सीट्स डिवाइड हुआ था उनके रेस्पेक्टिव पॉपुलेशन के अकॉर्डिंग। व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर वाज सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट। ठीक है, तो यू कैन से दैट कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वाज पार्टली नॉमिनेटेड एंड पार्टली इलेक्टेड। प्रिंसली स्टेट्स में सब नॉमिनेटेड हुआ था, जो प्रिंसेस नॉमिनेट कर रहे थे वैसा हुआ था। ठीक है, तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली को बोल सकते हैं हम लोग पार्टली इलेक्टेड एंड पार्टली नॉमिनेटेड बॉडी। ठीक है, नाउ वर्किंग ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, पहली मीटिंग होती है 9 दिसंबर 1946, है ना. डॉक्टर सच्चिदानंद सिन्हा, द ओल्डेस्ट मेंबर, was appointed as a temporary president and later Dr. Rajendra Prasad was a president. ठीक है. And S.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari were vice president. I'm just dictating the just facts. ठीक है. इसको एक आइडिया होना चाहिए कि कौन क्या था. Then December 13, 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved objective resolution which laid down the fundamentals and philosophy or constitutional structure. ठीक है. These objective resolution was unanimous adoption हुआ उसका 22 जनवरी 1947. ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन को क्या बोलते हैं हम लोग, लाइक लेटर हो क्या हुआ, प्रेम्बल हुआ. ठीक है. तो प्रेम्बल आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन को देख सकते हो, मतलब उसको इतना पता होना चाहिए कि क्या था उसका बेसिस. ठीक है. नाउ इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट 1947 जब आया तो उसमें 3 चेंजेस हुई. फर्स्ट, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वाज मेड अ फुली सॉवरेन बॉडी which could frame any constitution. मतलब this constituent assembly is now sovereign. ये कुछ भी constitution, मॉर्निंग सर, ये सर कुछ लिखवा दिया एंड कुछ लक्ष्मीकांत में तो आई इस डॉटिंग सो constituent assembly was made fully sovereign body which could frame any constitution. ठीक है. वो फैक्ट लिख लो. डॉक्टर सच्चिदानंद सिन्हा, ओल्डेस्ट मेंबर as temporary president. Later Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president. Just jot down. Morning. ठीक है. S.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari were vice presidents. ठीक है. यस नहीं कहता, प्रीएम्बल था. V.T. Krishnamachari. ठीक है. अब कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में आते हैं. पहला पॉइंट में था कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वाज मेड अ फुली सॉवरेन बॉडी. वो कोई भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अपने लिए बना सकता था. सेकंड, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली आल्सो बिकेम अ लेजिस्लेटिव बॉडी. राइट. तो ये 2 फंक्शन अब कर रहा है. एक, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन भी बना रहा है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली. वन, इट इज मेकिंग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, है ना. एक पार्ट ऐसा मिल रहा है जब वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाएंगे. देन इट इज ऑल्सो मेकिंग ऑर्डिनरी लॉज. ठीक है. तो व्हेन इट मेट एज अ बॉडी टू मेक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तब क्या बोलते थे, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन असेंबली था तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट बॉडी हो गया वो. ठीक है. और जब ऑर्डिनरी लॉज बना रहा है तो एक तरह से पार्लियामेंट की तरह काम कर रहा है. राइट. जो लॉ बनाती है. ठीक है. तो जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की तरह जब बनाते थे तब इसका हेड कौन करता था, डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद. चेयरमैन कौन थे, डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद. ठीक है. एंड व्हेन इट मेट एज एन ऑर्डिनरी लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी, डॉक्टर GV मलवनकर वाज द चेयरमैन. ठीक है. डिफरेंस समझ में आ रहा है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना रही है, ऑर्डिनरी लॉ मेकिंग बना रही है. ये पार्लियामेंट का काम कर रही है, लाइक बाद में, है ना. और ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना रही है, जो इसका काम सिर्फ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना के एंड हो जाना है. ठीक है. लेकिन ये रहेगा. ठीक है. द अदर फंक्शंस ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, अदर फंक्शंस ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली. It ratified India's membership of Commonwealth. It ratified India's membership of Commonwealth. कब था? May 1949. सेकेंड सब हेड इसी में. It adopted national flag. कब? जुलाई 1947. थर्ड पॉइंट, थर्ड सबहेड बेसिकली, इट अडॉप्टेड नेशनल एंथम एंड नेशनल सॉन्ग ऑन जनवरी 1950. एंड लास्ट, इट elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as first president. ठीक है. ये टेम्पोररी प्रेसिडेंट की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. ठीक है. फर्स्ट टेम्पोररी प्रेसिडेंट इन 1950. नोट डाउन द ईयर 1950. फर्स्ट इलेक्शंस कब हुए इंडिया में? When were the first elections held? 1951, right? है ना? And Constituent Assembly जो है 1949 एंड हो गया एज अ बॉडी, इनका रोल खत्म हो गया. हाँ 47 से 14, यस 1946 से जो उसका स्टार्ट हो रहा फॉर्मेशन, इट एंडेड ऑन 1949, है ना. बट द इलेक्शंस वर टेकिंग प्लेस इन 1951. तो बीच में वैक्यूम है. देयर वुड बी सम मैकेनिज्म जहां कोई होगा टू गवर्न. ठीक है, तो वहां कौन प्रेसिडेंट है उस टाइम? डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद वाज द टेम्पोररी प्रेसिडेंट. गेटिंग इट? ठीक है. अब प्रीलिम्स में हो सकता है ये जरूरी नहीं है डायरेक्ट पूछे, लेकिन इट कैन हेल्प इन ऑप्शन एलिमिनेशन. ऑप्शन एलिमिनेशन में हेल्प करता है. तो फ्लैग एंथम सॉन्ग को यू कैन बेसिकली रिमेंबर एट FAS. नो, इट वॉज अडॉप्टेड इन एंथम एंड सॉन्ग वॉज अडॉप्टेड इन 1950 और फ्लैग जस्ट पहले अडॉप्ट होगा. तो ये जस्ट बेसिक नॉलेज ना, कभी कभी इट हेल्प्स इन ऑप्शन एलिमिनेशन इन प्रीलिम्स. ठीक है. नाउ कम्स द मेजर पार्ट. व्हाट वर द कमिटीज इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली? सर विल
Hi, all of you. Good morning. Good morning, all of you, online, offline, both of you. Now, 2-3 things. I'm taking a lot of interest in polity. The reason being, I've realized that polity is in many ways the base of whatever you do. The laws, the rights, the social objectives, the ethics that we have, like a lot of current affairs here. And increasingly, I find students lack in that basic polity understanding. Okay, that's the reason why we are going a bit out of the way. Okay, so that आपका वो base बने ठीक. Hi, good morning, all of you. So what we'll do is, I have asked Uttam. He is part of the mentoring team. He'll come in, and he will start giving you content as a part of a story. Some of which may not be directly asked, but अगर पता हो तो अच्छी बात है. And you didn't realize it, the concepts he has taught you today. He has mentioned, if I'm recalling the points, number one he mentioned is that you must see the constitution as having legal sanctity. Constitution laws बनाता है, plus constitution अपने आप में भी एक law है. There's something called as constitutional law. Okay, so constitution has a legal sanctity. One. Number two, इंडिया का एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बेसिस था कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, that our system, our society must develop as an egalitarian society, as a fair society, and whatever we do should be consensus based. That's why he said, well, countries may have constitution, but does not mean all of them are democratic. इंडिया का हमारा important principle था. A third thing I would have expected he'll explain, बाद में बता देंगे हम लोग. He used a word that the constitution gives you laws and rules for minimalistic cooperation. Is the word right? And that's a very powerful word. Okay, we'll ask him to explain afterwards, if some of you know very good. Okay, कि constitution का objective है to set a minimum base. भाई इससे नीचे आप नहीं जा सकते. What all you can do beyond, that's your choice. Okay, you can keep on amending, you can keep on expanding. It gives the minimum base कि इसके नीचे you can't fall behind. That's the key word. Okay, and then of course the facts that he gave you. Okay, series of terms he has given you. So see these sessions more like developing the appreciation of constitution, the laws. Okay, a lot of facts will be here. So when we will do these sessions, we will let you know. But for now, I want for next at least 2 or 3, 4 days, we'll have the sessions every day at morning, 8 o'clock. And I expect all of you to be here at 8 o'clock. 8:30 we will have these sessions. Then I will let Manoj sir, you can ask him to come in. Then we'll have Manoj sir, and you also come in please, to take off the class the way it is taught. And on some days, we'll also have sessions after your class. So all of you be alert on the Telegram group. Okay, all of you be alert on the messages we give you. It'll take us some time to settle this properly. And like I said, end of the sessions, I want all of you to be passionate about the Constitution. I specifically requested him कि Constituent Assembly के debates के बारे में कुछ बात करें. What was the idea? What were they struggling against? And where he would have started now, but then okay, we ran out of time. So we'll continue this tomorrow again. Okay, so all of you be participative there. Please, sir, come in. Okay, be participative there, and we hope to support you. Okay, so we have with us, please, sir. We have with us Manoj Sharma, sir. He will be your prime polity faculty. We'll start off formally today, and I leave it to him. He knows best. Okay, what to cover from where, and feel free to ask your doubts. Feel free to engage with us. Sir ke saath bhi hai. Plus we are there. Uttam is there. So all of you, welcome. We're starting off formally. Okay, the sessions of polity now. So sir, it's all yours now.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Bite use करते हैं शायद? Yeah, whatever.
It's okay. It's perfect.
One thing I would like to request all of you is make sure that you make your notes proper. Okay, as teachers, we dictate, we will write down, we will discuss, but you ensure you write down whatever is taught. Be very alert. और class खत्म करने के बाद में you know the process that we have. You must make a summaries, synopsis and share with us. We'll let you know. ठीक है? So happy polity learning. So it's all yours. You are.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right. Absolutely. Okay. वो वाला अलग सेक्शन आपको सर नोट्स लगा. There is a separate category of content. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
And, after class, stay back for 5-10 minutes. The class will get over 11 o'clock, but stay back for 5-10 minutes. I'll discuss a few things.
Good morning, everyone. So we will be learning Indian Polity. Okay, my name is Dr. Manoj Sharma. Sir has already introduced. So let's start with the aspects of polity. See, friends, any learning firstly requires that you have a good idea of the questions which are asked. Okay, of course, we will be starting from the basics, but you should have an understanding that how the questions are framed by UPSC, so that you are alert right from the beginning. Even day one should not be wasted considering it as to be a mere introduction. Rather, it should be going directly to you that if I am understanding this term, then it means it must be having some significance at the level of UPSC. See, friends, when I talk of polity, what does it mean? Then very easily we can say that polity refers to the arrangement of authority and power in any state. Okay. So comparative polity may be asked at the examination. They may ask you that, okay, how Indian Parliament is similar or different from the British Parliament, how Indian Parliament is similar or different from American Congress, whatever it may be. So they can ask you like this. So it means polity is something that is an arrangement. Arrangements can be good or bad. Of course, they can be. We all are concerned about what should be better, that is good only. So it means what we will be learning here are the features of good polity. Bad polity was under Adolf Hitler, Third Reich of Germany. That was example of bad polity only. Okay. If you remember Alauddin Khilji, example of bad polity only. So arrangements are always there. What is the source of authority, from where the authority emanates, all these things become significant for us. Right? So once again, if I say polity, what polity means? So polity means knowing the arrangement of government in regard to its authority and structure. Okay? What polity means? So I am not saying what constitution means. I am simply saying what polity means. So what is the source of polity? somebody may say Dharma Shastra, somebody may say, like previously, that was the source of polity. Somebody may say Kautilya's Artha Shastra was the source of polity. Yes, these were sources of polity. Polity under various kings kept on changing. How to bring stability to polity? So when we talk of modern polity, bache, we actually try to talk of those things which have made polity stable, reliable, and finally people centric. Finally people centric, justice centric. Okay. Amit Shah sir, who is the Home Minister, Union Home Minister, made a statement day before yesterday as well as yesterday, that the 3 criminal laws which we are bringing, they are oriented towards justice, not towards punishment. What he wanted to say? He wanted to say that IPC when was formulated, it was the British times, beta. So they wanted to somewhere control Indians. So means oriented towards punishment. So are you getting how you will be using later? Of course, I am just beginning. All these things will keep coming, these examples later also. But then you say, okay sir, polity now is justice oriented. So it means no polity paper, either of prelims or of mains, will go without judiciary. Independence of judiciary, it can be something else associated with judiciary, but 100% it will come. So it means basic structure also will be asked, means terms, don't worry. So many of you may not be knowing what is basic structure, don't worry about it. We will be talking, I am just saying, basic structure means a case of Keshwanand Bharti, where they talked about that you have right to amend the constitution, but you cannot amend essential principles. Okay? And those essential principles kept evolving. Once again starting, what is polity? So polity is arrangement of power and authority in a state. It can also be said polity is the arrangement of government at a given point of time. Right, sir? Polity of 1950, what? Remember, I am trying to focus. Polity of 1950 is different from polity of 2023. You will say, yes sir, after that many constitutional amendments have been there, many new arrangements have been introduced, right? So if I make a statement that polity is a dynamic concept or Indian polity is dynamic, illustrate in the light of suitable examples. This is the nature of current day questions of UPSC. So you will say, yes sir, I got it. Polity was something during British time, polity was something at the time of independence. Of course, major principles have remained almost the same, but lot of new things have been added, sir. And even first Constitutional Amendment Act, okay, of 1951 changed the structure of polity when right to property was there, but still they provided an idea of social and economic justice. Okay? See friends, initially, see, when I am writing notes, they will be starting from scratch, very basics. But remember, we have to touch the UPSC level also, almost in the same class only. Let us not waste even a single class. Every day when you go back, you should have an idea that yes, 2 marks are with me of pre or a mains question is with me. Why we will talk unnecessarily? We are not going to talk here about such cases which are of less importance now. We will be talking of most important cases only. So some of our friends, they think Abhinav Kumar, Sir, Vajiram and Ravi kut kar diya. We are talking here, my friend. Let us be here only and ask about questions which are associated with polity. Okay? That is what we should be actually focusing upon. So child, when you understand polity, you have now started understanding that it means some of the features of governmental arrangement. Correct, sir? Beta, if I ask you to compare polity under Alauddin Khilji and polity under Akbar, so I think now you are getting, yes sir, that was based on Sulh-e-Kul, and he actually created a system of tolerance towards other religions also. So I feature in polity only. Okay, feature in polity only. I will not say it was a secular state, but like a secular, evolving arrangement. Evolving arrangement. So even English historians have used the term what for Akbar? Akbar the Great. And if you ask me, बात बड़ी है बेटा, एक अंगूठा छाप, someone who was totally illiterate, it's a big thing, thought of such an arrangement of polity that he was able to give stability to the state for almost 2 centuries to come. So it means good polity is also associated with stability. Bad polity will lead to unstable arrangement. That's right. Okay. So when I understand concepts of polity, we try to comprehend that what will be its basics. So today is our first class, but here also we will talk of some of the concepts. They will be basics only, but be attentive. After a few minutes of teaching the concept, I will raise some pre-type questions also, so that you become aware of what UPSC's demand is, and you will develop confidence that it is not at all difficult. Okay, it is based on the same idea as we used to say earlier in our times, that IITs and IIMs were cleared only of those who were having high degree of clarity of fundamentals. Okay, fundas, we used to use the word fundas. Now IAS also has been added from 2016 to that list only. It's not by cramming anymore. You develop clarity and you are in the list. Okay, because they will change the format. So let's write something, because with writing when we are talking, and one more thing, children, it was starting, so no worries, you are not writing. After 1 or 2 days, even when I am giving you a narration of some case, in footnote or side notes, take a mention of it. See children, it is a professional talk from my side. Okay, we are not here for gossip. So whatever I am speaking, I am responsible for that, and also that is 100% associated with your examination. 100% associated. And even if I am talking of a story of Bhavari Devi or anyone, be sure you can use it in Vishaka guidelines or somewhere. Otherwise, I would not have asked you that. That would not have been a question from my side. Okay? Is that right? So please write the heading. Centralization more in Khilji. Yes, these will be the features. Nikita has said that under Khilji it was more of centralization. So centralization, my child, will be under Akbar also. All beta monarchies by nature will be highly centralized. Dhananjay is talking of Dag and Chehra. Okay, this was basically to avoid any sort of misappropriation of funds in the name of army which they were maintaining. Army was better in terms of cavalrymen and others who were to be maintained by a mansabdar. That's right. Anyway, we will talk about these things. But here we will try to understand first of all principles, that what polity means and what are those aspects which will make any polity a good polity. Second thing, children, whenever we talk of polity, we always talk of state. In my definition also, when I was saying, I said state, authority arrangement in a state. So before you enter into it, we need to understand the definition of state also. Okay? So let's write till here and then again we will discuss, and in the process we will keep understanding. One request from online friends also, Soma, Saba, Muhammad, Bahuddin and Nikita, everyone, those who are there, Ajay, Nikhil Karale, Tabashir, you need to understand one thing. Keep asking questions initial 2-3 days. Even if we go slow, there will be no sky is falling. So don't worry about it. So let sky fall be only limited to a James Bond movie. For us, we will ask questions without any sort of hesitation. Okay? चलिए कुछ लिखते हैं. Let's write. You are able to follow whatever I am, because initial 15 minutes, you know why we speak, why we don't start dictation immediately. See, you are converting oral communication to written communication. So what codes, how the sound is rhyming on your eardrums, that should directly go in your notes. So that is also a way to make you comfortable with the type of pronunciations speakers are using. Okay, though I try to use very standard pronunciation only, but still being an Indian, it will have an Indian impact. Okay, yes, for sure, and I think we all are comfortable with that. We also are not accustomed to hearing, though you all watch a lot of English movies, okay, and they spoil the pronunciation like anything. But here we will try to use standard. So be comfortable. Let's start the journey. Give the heading polity. So meaning of polity should be the first heading. हर चीज का अर्थ समझते जाइए. Understand the meaning of everything. And sir, you will crack UPSC easily. जी, meaning of polity. नीचे लिखिए. And we will use point wise arrangement. Okay, initial introduction will be 2-3 lines and then we will try to write points. Polity in its essential connotation refers to the study of the arrangement of power oblique authority in any state. Full stop. Second point, polity is seen describing the features of authority usage for instance, that is, for example, whether centralized or decentralized, comma, whether unitary or federal, comma, whether democratic or monarchy, etc. Third point, polity attempts to analyze that from where the source of authority emanates, emanates, emanates. That is whether example सब में लिखते जाइए, that is whether the source of authority happens to be some traditional aspect, like Taliban government beta. People may have different opinions, but if when we are understanding polity, we try to see that from where they are trying to have the authority, what is the source of authority, comma, whether the source of authority is some traditional arrangement. Okay, so that is why beta Kautilya, when he talked about that it is the end of sixfold policy in his Arthashastra, one of the Adhikarana is referring to this idea only. So what he wanted to say, that all the arrangements of polity which were based on your traditional dharma rules, dharma sutras and all, now no more will exist, and if they will exist, only limited to civil laws. For criminal laws, here we introduce Kantak Shodhana. So it means he changed the polity arrangement. So based on traditional arrangement, comma, based on some constitutional principles, etc. Next point, polity attempts to understand that what is the degree of division of powers, or differentiation in the arrangement of a state. Next point, polity attempts to identify the institutions which have been declared valid for application of authority. Next point, polity attempts to understand the various levels used in policy making and policy implementation. Right, beta? So even questions of comparison can be based on it. Like I was talking of ancient times, Kautilya. And let's try to compare for a minute. You may not be knowing, no worries, but just try to hear. In Kautilya, we see in our Shastra that king is actually supported by a group of 20 important officials termed as tirthas. Correct? Termed as tirthas. And that, apart from it, he is also having a Mantri Parishad, Council of Ministers. But sir, these council of ministers are not provided with any portfolios. Rather, he is having a separate arrangement, second adhikarana of Arthashastra, where superintendents are there, adhyakshas, Patvadhyaksh, Navadhyaksh, okay, Samasta Adhyaksh, all these are there. And they are directly reporting to the king. So you will say that this is highly centralized, though he is having ministers, but king is actually at the center. King is here. He is having this arrangement which is advisory. Okay. So here who are there? His Mantri Parishad, ministers. And here he is directly connected to the various superintendents, adhyakshas. That's right. Highly centralized. Though there are others also, Purohit, Tirthas are there. But ultimately, king is directly associated here. He is not allotting portfolio to anyone. So if I ask you a question that, see, we have a Mantri Parishad in modern times also. And you also had a Mantri Parishad, that is Council of Ministers. What is the difference? Big difference. Now, if I draw it president, under him a Council of Ministers, okay, then these ministers are no one who are having portfolios but from this Council of Ministers only. They are directly supervising, leading in the respective portfolios. But in this, we are not seeing. So this is not equal to this. Is that right? ये हमारे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. बताइए क्या मुश्किल है? What is the difference? This time in mains they asked that parliamentary sovereignty of India is different from parliamentary sovereignty from compare and contrast of UK. मुश्किल बात है भाई. Only you have to see what has been provided there and what has been provided in Indian Constitution. It's a question of 5 minutes. With writing it is possible. So paper is easy. But if you will try to go through any other arrangement without understanding, you will find it very difficult. एक तो आप वॉमिट करना शुरू कर देते हैं. You start vomiting whatever you have crammed. You are no more relevant. आप तो बेसिक्स पकड़िए. किसका कंपेयर करा रहा है? केवल इसका तो केवल इसका कर देंगे. Like we here compared only COM and this. We are not trying to compare king and this. वो बात ही नहीं हम कर रहे हैं ज्यादा. That sir, at that time it was monarchy, now it is republic. It is the elected head. We are not talking about it. So it means too much detail in the introduction. If someone has written at mains about it, that UK happens to be an example of democracy, but without a republic arrangement. They say a constitutional monarch exists, but they don't have a written constitution. Anyway, later on we will taking their class. First of all, we should understand where we are entering. तो आसान है समझना सर. जो जो पूछ सकता है, I am trying to give you. So this first paper of yours, first page where you are writing features of polity is nothing but your questions. Any question which UPSC can make will be touching one of these aspects. Otherwise, why they will ask it in polity paper? Okay? It will be touching only one of these aspects. किसी institution को पूछ लूंगा, I will talk about its function specifically, like they asked about presiding officers at state legislature. So, I am discussing the arrangement and then its function should be known. Are we able to discharge it effectively? Please come. Are we able to discharge it effectively or not? ठीक है? और लिखते हैं एक दो पॉइंट. What polity attempts to study? Polity attempts to identify scope of authority and limits, if any. Okay, so whether any sort of limits are there on their authority or not, that also polity attempts to analyze. Okay, so Keshwanand Bharati case, Minerva Mills case, Vaman Rao case, Indira Nehru Gandhi, okay, versus Rajnarayan case, these all are associated with this point, that whether there is any limit to your authority or not, and whether it is valid or not. Okay, so when you start understanding that these things will automatically follow. There is nothing in it. These all are very easy to remember, because every time when I am talking of president, I am trying to talk, okay, what is the scope of function? Okay, what are the limits, if any? Fine. Where he is affecting? How he is well connected? So that will be the question. Cannot ask anything else, because it is republic. Can ask how he comes elected. जैसे राजा में क्या पूछते भाई कि प्राइमोजेनिचर है या कुछ और है. Means whether the one who is the eldest will automatically become the king, or do you have some sort of competitive arrangement also that out of the sons of the king, of course sons only will be eligible of the king, whether anyone can become the king. तो वहां पर ये पूछते होंगे लोग. If I go back to from 5th century BCE to 5th century CE or 6th century CE, this must have been the question. If any student of polity would have been asking, there are these things. वैसे किसी की हिम्मत नहीं होती होगी to ask these type of questions, but still, if someone would have asked it like this. What was the problem with Socrates? He challenged the structure and basis of polity of Athens. And later on, in the name of Ish Nanda, blasphemy, he was sentenced to death. He was poisoned. What he challenged? He challenged the arrangement or basis of authority which Athens was using. So, things should come to you like this. Kuch arrangement raha hoga. Somebody raised the question. As I said that in 5th century CE and BC, whether anyone could have dared to ask the question. But polity yahi hoti hai. I try to see if it is, what was the function of Mahamatras, Mahamatyas, which Buddhist chronicles have termed as Mahamatras. Actually, the term was Amatya. Okay? Amatya. Important ministers were given the title of Amatya. And Maha-Amatya means out of them also, Amatyas also, those who were very, very considered very senior and close to the king, very loyal to the king. They were given the function that you go and see. Even Kumaras means the prince and others, Pradeshikas. Are they discharging their functions well? It should not be happening that they are misusing their authority. Is that right? Ashokan inscriptions, क्यों पूछेंगे भाई हम आपसे? Why should we be asking? कोई रटने का एग्जाम थोड़ी पूछ रहे हैं. I will ask you only those inscriptions which actually provided an important directions to the officers that in my state this should be happening. Okay? So, you can say, sir, it means the inscriptions can be considered as parts of the Ashokan constitution. हाँ भाई, हो सकता है एक तरह की बात, एक तरह की हो सकती है, that's right. He was trying to tell everyone, do not worry, these things state will take care, these things you need to follow. भाई जैसे हमारे यहाँ फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज हैं, उसके अशोकन इंस्क्रिप्शन में भी थी. How the people should behave. So, polity, when you try to comprehend, will give you a wonderful clarity on historical aspects also. And you will know what they can ask in a question. That's right. Correct, sir? Whether the current government is collecting any irrigation tax? whether on irrigation, whether from farmers something is collected? Yes. So those who have said no, it means you have no connection with the villages and something. Some sort is definitely connected, sir. They collect it. So now the question is, sir, ये नहरें पहले कब आई होंगी? First of all, when they must have come? I will say that 4th century BCE, we have their mention. In Rig Veda, it is only of Kupaha. Okay? Kupaha, Avetaha and Chakraha, by which they were pulling the water out. Okay? But in 3rd century CE, we actually have a detail that Mauryan administration, they used to collect taxes related to irrigation. Shabash. तो आप कहेंगे okay, polity it means sir also is related with taxation and all. Why yes, yes. One question from part 12 of Indian Constitution can always be there. और इस बार सर मेंस में भी 101 amendment पूछ ही लिए. So what is it? Nothing but GST. So that is what? Arrangement of taxation. कुछ ऐसा ही तो हो गया that I asked in ancient times when Kautilya has given her Shastra after him, how the system was followed. So they said, sir, taxes were on grazing grounds, taxes were on it, and taxes were even on if you were using water in your field from a canal. So दो चीजें मालूम पड़ी मुझे for the purpose of prelims. For the purpose of mains, I know I can use it how to write. For the purpose of pre, that there were canals at that time also. We do not know what was their length, whether they were able to take a canal only to 3 kilometers or 4 miles from any nearby river, or it extended to 50 miles also. हमें नहीं मालूम, we do not know that much. But we know this much, that something like this was there. It means an irrigation department existed even under Mauryan administration. Structure समझ में आने लगा. I will ask you current structure. When I asked you Competition Commission of India this year, so what I am asking, an institutional framework. What is so difficult in it? If you know polity, you need to know it. Nothing is surprise. Questions are very easy, provided you use books. Some of you are carrying, you use these books, but don't make them your final limit. These books are helpful in giving you a basic idea, initial idea, like any guidebook. But real core that you will go through will be class notes that we will be having here and Bare Act of Indian Constitution. Bare Act, you understand? In which only articles are there, and in footnotes they also mention that when particular article was amended and when this point was inserted. That's all. Otherwise you will not require anything. But for these first few days, that is for 1 month, you should be using the book also. There is no harm. It will give you clarity. Okay? But what I am teaching, this all will not be in your books. NCERT में मिलेगा. I am using something from NCERT and how polity is taught in some of the institutional frameworks at UG level abroad. That is what I am using the framework. Basic for first class. Initial for 1 hour, that is the framework. So that आपके fundas तो strong हो. What is the difference between somebody doing MBA, that is PGDM, we say, from IIM and MBA from somewhere else? Difference is in the approach, how it is taught. Nothing else. बच्चे तो अच्छे ही होते हैं. Kids are always good. They are giving their time, sir. When someone is giving time, why that child is not having right to learn? Why he should be or she should be misguided? Okay? So kids are always good. Whether in IIMs, whether in Harvard or whether in any private college in Greater Noida. बच्चे सभी अच्छे हैं. But how it is provided, on that every understanding and everything depends. That is where we emphasize upon. Now, first day, are you getting what is polity? Scope कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? What its scope can be? When I will be talking about Indian Parliament, when I will be talking about state legislature, आपके दिमाग में आना चाहिए, this is an institution. That should strike in your mind that this is an institutional arrangement for, वो हम समझ लेंगे, for legislation. What it can do and what it cannot do. Like, I ask you that constitutional amendment can be done by Union Parliament. Can it be done by state legislatures also? So you will say, sir, no, it cannot be initiated like in America. But yes, in some of the amendments, they also take part. But actual amendment is only by the Union Parliament. है तो दोनों legislature. But one is given the power to amend, one is not given the power to amend. One is only given the function to be consulted. कि भाई इनसे भी पूछ लेना. You ask them also that do they agree, and if half of them are agreeing, go ahead with the amendment. That's right. So we start understanding, okay, that is why any constitutional body, any statutory body that has been provided to assist in the arrangement of polity is significant for us. Yes, beta. Amendment constitution की बात कर रहे हैं ना, अपने लॉ तो बनाते रहिए आप, but they cannot amend constitutional arrangement. ठीक है? Otherwise, I have given you a state list. You make a law on it. But if you want to add a subject to that state list, it is beyond your capacity. आप नहीं कर सकते. That is why UPSC once asked a question that India is characterized by federal supremacy. Analyze it in context of the states arrangement in India. बहुत बेसिक क्वेश्चन होते हैं बेटा मेंस के, खामा डरते घूमते हैं हम. They are very easy. Provided you give attention, don't consider first class as just introduction. No, it is the essential aspect. Right, sir? It is the essential aspect. At Harvard, at IIM Calcutta, students are called 45 days earlier before the first lecture. They are oriented so that on the day of learning, don't miss anything. So, learning is also getting, first of all, professionally trained for it. And you all are, don't worry. That's right. But इनसे questions बन रहे हैं, are we getting? Now we will start. So we have understood what polity is referring to. Democratic है, despotic, oligarchy, whatever it may be. We have an idea. Whether limited democracy or everyone is having the right. Like even in US, it was not universal adult franchising. In 20th century, they were able to give it to even their women. And blacks further later. So we remember Abraham Lincoln, sir, like anything. Oh, he abolished slavery. But sir, he never gave the blacks right to vote. And see India, in first shot, we went for universal adult franchising. So who can compare with us? So when anyone from Canada or US is talking, say, look who is talking. Come on. You should not dare to talk. You people have very bad polity arrangement. Recently you have learned. And now you have started preaching others. We have these principles even in our movement for Indian nationalism. That's right. Fundamental duty number 2. Cherish the values of Indian nationalism. Because those values are nothing but associated with good polity. Okay, beta? Now let's start understanding what a state is. So any doubts in understanding these points? It's not becoming philosophical, though it is. Though it is, because writing on polity so many lines and so many words means it is philosophy, but it is literature we need to know. किसी चीज का literature review करते हैं ना भाई. Whenever I am going for understanding or study anything, we do literature review of it. That what is the literature available for it. So our literature will be Indian Constitution. Our literature can be constitutional arrangements of other countries. And our literature will also be the provisions which we are having now and other things. Right, sir? So now we will take up state, definition and some important concepts. Somanand is saying, we are the first country who gave women right to vote in first instance, beta. It is wrong otherwise, that we are the first country who gave women right to vote. In first instance, yes, we are the one. That as soon as we made our constitution, as soon as we got our freedom, we worked on it. Okay? But otherwise not. In 1920s, and by 30s, USA had a functional arrangement of right to vote for women. But not for blacks. They gave it later. And we have not differentiated anything. Sir, please explain the scope of authority. Scope of authority is better like what will be its function. For example, Nishu Malik is asked scope of authority. Okay, I will take an example. Have you heard the word PIL, public interest litigation? Very good. Is it within the scope of authority of Supreme Court or not? This again has been a question. And that is why on number of occasions this question has been asked, that do you think with instruments like PIL, courts of law are trying to have judicial overreach? Means they are interfering with the functioning of executive. Okay? That's why this question is there. Similarly, collegium is also much talked. Collegium is also much talked thing. Why? Not mentioned in the constitution, but Supreme Court has evolved it, and then through 1 judge case, 2 judge case, 3 judge case has made it a principle. अपने आप ही सिद्धांत बना दिया. But so that's why questions are there. I am not saying that is wrong. Please don't say. Independence of judiciary has to be ensured. No second thought about it. But how it shall be ensured? That definitely we can think about it. Should the collegium, that is judges, be recommending for their own appointments? Some people will say that what is the guarantee of impartiality? What is the guarantee that merit will be actually given the credit and not other factors, nepotism and others? That's right. So ये questions इसलिए बनते हैं. That is why. So that is the scope of authority. Got it, Nishu? Like doctrine of pith and substance. I don't want to scare you. कि सर ये तो क्या क्या बोल रहे हो आप? You are talking of too many technical things. Doctrine of pith and substance. Yes, that is the question of scope of authority only. Well, whether union legislature is having the power or state legislature is having the power. Okay, to decide on which particular law. So they will try to see it from doctrine of pith and substance, doctrine of colorable legislation. Anyway, अभी लौट जाओ basic पे. First day I myself opened. I gave you an aerial view, but now we will land at the airport and slowly we will see one by one. Aerial view, for this reason it was must, so that you understand that what is the scope of polity. पता चले आपको polity में पढ़ना क्या है. What you have to go through in polity, you should be having an idea about it. That's right. चलिए अब कुछ बेसिक्स पढ़ते हैं. इट मीन्स अभी भी नहीं घुस रहे हैं हम प्योर पॉलिटी ऑफ इंडिया. वी आर ट्राइंग टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल orient ourselves. Let's understand some important terms associated with polity. Okay, so give the heading some important terms oblique concepts associated with Indian polity. जी. So first of all, state को ही देख ले. Let's understand state. What state is? So children, when I talk of state, so this state is, don't consider as your state otherwise, that is states. Here it is, a state is something that will have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 essential things. What are those? One is territory, geographical area. So one is territory, that's right. Then second is population. Third is organized government, very good. Organized government. And fourth is sovereignty. So, a thing to be declared a state, these 4 essential things should be there. Okay? Territory of Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh is there, correct? Forget India, I am trying to explain you something. Population, yes. Though citizenship is single, but domicile arrangement is there. Kuch to connection hai, there is some arrangement. Citizenship is nothing but a legal relationship between the state and the people. Domicile is also like that. Let us brainstorm. Organized government, yes. Part 6 of the Indian Constitution provides for government. यहाँ आकर फंस जाएंगे. Are states sovereign? No. Central. When I have said federal supremacy, so definitely it means, sir, ये state ही नहीं है, बड़ा धोखा है. They are saying in part 6 states, but sir, it is not a state as per political science. This is for the purpose of what? Federal arrangement, that they are termed. And Indian federal arrangement is different from US federal arrangement. That's right. Yes, quasi federal we use sometimes. The term for it we also use. Okay? So the first thing is, sir, this question was asked by UPSC. Okay? If you remember, the question was that they simply said that which of the following defines the state. Okay? And then ABCD was there. And the terms, the language was the problem, that they were talking of territory 100%. They were talking of people also living in the territory. They were talking of organized government. They were talking of it should be federal, it should be, sorry, not federal, it should be republic, it should be democratic. Only in one they talked of sovereignty as well. मुश्किल था क्वेश्चन, आसान था सर? Easy, very easy. But if you are reading the sentence and you are trying to see state shall have democratic government, why? The state can have a despotic government also, totalitarian government also. Doesn't mean. It can be a good government is democratic government, but it can have military rule also. Still it will be a state. Okay? It will be a state. It will not be that it will not be a state. It will be a state. But all these 4 features should be there. This is UPSC pre. They simply say, do you stick to your fundamentals which you have read earlier, or do you start flowing in the stream of democratic government, elected government? These were the words used in the previous ones. A was territory, population, organized government, missed sovereignty. B was territory, population, democratic government. Okay. C was also something, I think it was territory, defined with its people, with a government having power on them. And D was, of course, all the features. So, when I ask questions from you at pre, be sure they are the easiest. Polity is one of those things, my friend, where out of 18 questions you can do 16 easily and 2 also if you apply some of your mind. So, for crossing the first stage, why polity? It is definite that for that reason. It's slightly understanding based. Otherwise, it is the one where you can score very high. There are other subjects also, but polity is considered one of the easiest along with others. यहाँ surprises नहीं हो सकते हैं. In some fields, if UN has done something, even that particular statement come and it can be a surprise. Here, it cannot be a surprise. It is very well defined and definite. Only thing we expect that you know what it means actually, and you should not be swept away by some words like good governance. State will be an expression of a government which believes in good governance and is based on the principle of decentralization, having right to vote for its people, and based on panchayats and all. Whether it is making a state? No. You are hearing cautiously, you are saying, sir, sovereignty free from interference from others. Nahi bola aapne. You have not said that. So sorry. It will not be a true state. Correct? Is that right? So now you know this. This is first concept. Now in it, we start talking of various aspects. You want to know about sovereignty, that what sovereignty means. I have used the word sovereign. So, sovereignty easiest understanding is I am free from interference from others. Okay? And whatever I do, I am independent in that. So, it means independent decision making, where state is free from any sort of external influence. So, sovereignty means, so generally this term will be used in context of polity only. This term will be used in context of somebody who is having authority to decide. It only decides the nature, that whether this authority in itself is supreme or it is having certain limitations. Correct? So, see, parliamentary sovereignty in India and parliamentary sovereignty in UK. Comparison. So, whether in India parliament is sovereign? Union parliament I am saying, is it sovereign? Okay. Then how come Supreme Court can strike down the laws made by it or the amendments made by it? Pardon? It is?
But there is extra power also to the
So it means it is not sovereign, because sovereign कुछ sovereign ऐसा नहीं होता. Sovereign, yes or no? Framework contains sovereign for parliament. I am sorry. Nowhere it is written in the constitution that parliament is a sovereign body. Constitution, shabash, good. And then you will say that, sir, constitution in the very statement of preamble talks We the people of India. So it means we are the expression of popular sovereignty and it is expressed through the supremacy of constitution. इस conclusion पे पहुंच गए. See, as you initially said, Parliament is sovereign. You are not wrong. Our prime ministers also till Minerva Mills case used to think, and that is why amendment, Supreme Court judgment, amendment, and in 1970s it was like a game कि कुछ खेल चल रहा है. From that side, Parliament is making an amendment and Supreme Court is saying null and void. नहीं कर सकते. Again, Parliament is making a law. Supreme Court saying null and void. नहीं कर सकते आप. You cannot do it. So it was like a game. Okay? A match was going on. Tak, tak. From the other side also it was returned back. So then you say, sir, ऐसा खेल हो रहा है, तो it means Parliament cannot be considered sovereign. That is what they asked. But it is not judicial supremacy also, my child. That is what our CJI in his last few talks, you see, has been actually seen going accommodative on the idea of that collegium arrangement can also be provided with some sort of validity. पहले तो नहीं बोलते थे चंद्रचूड़ सर, but now he has started talking because he is also realizing that बात तो सही है, they are right. What we are saying is also correct, that executive shall not interfere because otherwise judges will become oriented towards executive. So to have neutrality and impartiality, executive shall not be the decision making body. ये बात सही है, that is correct. But at the same time, this is also right that in collegium and how the collegium recommends. So if some procedural mechanism can be provided in which what is there? Transparency is there, that will be better. ठीक है? So my friend, it was not correct that we are moving toward judicial supremacy. No, it's a balance. We are talking of an arrangement where everything will flow from the constitution. Anyway, the second term we have learned here is what is the meaning of sovereignty. State. लिख डालिए इस चीज को, please write it. First term we talked about is state. $25 trillion worth of pure democracy. Definitely USA is not. They try to preach others. So you can definitely write haha about it, 100%. They only try to preach. They have double standards, and our foreign minister, Jaishankar sir, has absolutely rightly said that Western governments and some of the developed powerful governments in the world actually have double standards. Okay? Very recently he said it, yesterday only. So it means when I am referring it to you, it means you are also expected to go through the newspapers on news properly. अगर मैं बार बार बोल रहा हूं, it means in polity it plays an important role. In other subjects also it will play an important role, but in our polity, the more you can refer something recent, of recent origin, that can be fantastic. Have you gone through this year's mains paper? Have you seen 2 questions in mains were related to women, gender justice, and one more was there, and child. When the idea of constitutional amendment came, which amendment they suggested for women reservation? Number? Shabash, 128. You are recalling. Good. 128. Sir, the paper took place on 16th and the decision came in light on 17th, and we were surprised that whether UPSC was already knowing that this year or in the next 2 days they are going to bring an amendment to the Indian Constitution. Though question related to that only. Of course, that amendment could have been mentioned if it would have come earlier, but something about gender justice. So whether 128 amendment is not about gender justice, it is about. They asked the very same question. So it means going through newspapers, of course, you cannot forecast कि कल के newspaper में क्या आएगा. How? When you are going on 16th, appearing in the afternoon. Okay, 16th, it was not finalized. In the evening, it was finalized. Cabinet meeting on 16th, then on 17th, everyone was knowing, but your paper was on 16th, 2nd. Okay, and 2:30, no, it was not known. But the question was that. So it means what is going on, what is the nerve of the government, where they are going for, those will be your questions. ठीक है? What they are talking, what they are referring more, those will be your questions. Something like that. Directly it will not come, but associated with that will come. Clear, sir? Sovereignty लिख डालिए. First of all, state. The term state in political science, the term state in political science refers to an arrangement essentially having the following four features. Following four features. Number one, it shall be having a well-defined territory. ठीक है सर. That is why in pre-beta a question can come, which of the following will be included in territory of India? Which of the following will be included in territory under the state? So they will be asking you, and if constitution earlier was talking about any other territory, what it referred to? Now only we have two types of territories under territory of India. One, territory under the states, territory under the UTs. Now there is no any other territory. So to which any other territory they referred to? Acquired or? And ma'am, one territory was there which was not included in the definition of a state. Jammu and Kashmir. So now actual territory is limited to only two. Earlier 1, 2, 3 all were valid in case of India. But now only two are valid. Which one? Territory under the states and territory under the union territories. What they have? There is no other territory. But yes, whatever may be acquired, that also can come. Should this territory be internationally recognized? That is what we keep contesting. That is why the debates on the maps, sometimes China will come out with a map, sometimes some other country will come out with a map, and we immediately register our discontent by sometimes even summoning the ambassador or high commissioner from that embassy or high commission. बुलाते हैं ना कि क्या नक्शा बना दिया आपने? How is it possible? You are actually touching our sovereignty, you are touching our territory. That's right. So we keep showing, and now a new version has started that खाली करो भाई POK, because POK is on our map. It is ours. You have occupied it. And if you have occupied means किराए पे रह रहे थे, बिना किराया दिए यार, खाली करो घर मेरा. So I will not say it will lead to war or anything, but why we show it? तो ये territory है. Related to it, questions are possible. Not only in polity, for pre this will be the question, but otherwise when a question will come, it will be covering through IR, international relations or something like that. It will have that scope also. Sir, please.
Is it recognized internationally?
सर मैंने कह दिया और मैं सोवरेन हूं, अब मानो ना मानो. We try to push it. Pakistan will say sorry, it is disputed. तो हम कहते हैं चलो disputed तो माना, तुम्हारी तो नहीं है, खाली करो. It is ours. Pakistan maximum case it is disputed. We are not saying na Pakistan's territory. What is the word we use? Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And they say I okay. Anyway. But territory की तो समझ में आई. The first thing that we talked about कि कुछ मजा आने वाला है. This is also going to be interesting. Yes, sir. How can they? We are, because it was never there, na. We say it was all ours. They show it disputed. They will always raise the question of Kashmir on all international platforms. Pakistan is not saying ये हमारा है. Pakistan is saying it should be independent. So we are supporting those who ideally should be provided with their independence. This is the Pakistan's version. वो यही गीत गाते रहते हैं. And we say कोई झगड़ा ही नहीं यार हमारा है. You are actually sitting in our house. ये भी खाली करा लेंगे तुमसे कभी, देख लेंगे. At present we are not requiring अपने यहाँ बहुत जगह है. And we are having lot of things. But be sure when my sons and daughters will require it, I can send my army and have it. That is what our defense minister also said. Try to understand these things. When we are getting, of course, हमारे लिए territory क्या है? 1, 2, 3 for pre-purpose. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And at present, there is nothing in 3. If we acquire anything, that will be in 3. And POK will not be coming in 3. POK is ours already. POK will not be acquired. POK तो हमारा ही है. मुझे दोबारा नहीं खरीदना पड़ेगा उससे. तुम्हारा मोबाइल किसी ने ले लिया, दे नहीं रहा है, बस इतना समझो. ओके? तो ज्यादा अच्छा समझ में आएगा. एंड इफ यू आर बिकमिंग IFS ऑल्सो, इससे IAS और सेकेंड चॉइस जनरली बच्चे IFS डालते हैं. स्ट्रॉन्ग रहना इन द एकेडमी ऑल्सो. जयशंकर विल लाइक यू. ये बच्चा अच्छा है, गुड. ही इज वेरी क्लियर कि सर मेरा मोबाइल लेके चला गया. कम ऑन, someday I will take. So at the UN you can see, you can say that thing only with authority what you are convinced here. If you yourself are convinced that POK is disputed, you can never demand for POK at UN platform. Are you getting it? बिल्कुल हमारा. Anyway, second thing. So first is territory. Yes, मेरा भारत महान. Rest everything is rubbish. Second thing is what beta? Population. Second component is population. Child, for this reason beta, we need to study the aspects of citizenship. That is why a question on citizenship may also be asked. Important component. Who will be? Because what will be the nature of population? You will say citizens and aliens. That's all. Population at any time. So now you will say what will be the rights of the population? So for citizens, more rights, and for aliens, lesser rights. That's right. From Canada, we have stopped visa service. What does this mean? The students who are studying there Can they return back or not? Will they find any problem? They can easily return back. Why? They are Indian citizens only. Shabash. Visa arrangement is for those who are foreign passport holders. In polity, the question will be like this. See, sir, whether someone who is an Indian passport holder when wants to come to India will require any visa? Fast? No, nothing. So it means visa services for foreign passport holders. And in Canada, if we have stopped it, it means Canada passport holders, we have actually put the service on hold. I will use the word on hold. That is what our technical ministry is also saying, MEA and Ministry of Home. Anyway, बढ़िया question बन गया. Which ministry is associated with the visa, issuing visa? Ministry of External Affairs. Okay, something more. Should I give you 4 options? तब ज़्यादा अच्छा लगेगा. Okay. अभी बात population की and visa. Let's talk about it. Which of the following ministry? Write the question. Let's have it. Footnote में लिखो या यहाँ भी लिख सकते हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Which of the following ministry / department is associated with issuing of visa? A. Ministry of External Affairs. B. Department of Overseas Citizens of India. Department of OCI. C. Ministry of Home Affairs. D. PMO in consultation with Cabinet Secretariat. PMO in consultation with Cabinet Secretariat. तो यूपीएससी का ही क्वेश्चन बन गया खेल खेल में, ऐसे ही आता है वहां भी अजीब अजीब. सो इफ यू नो द आंसर, सर इट इज इजी, तब तो म्यूजिक है, अदरवाइज तो पूरा ऑर्केस्ट्रा है ये. Shrishti Kumar has given B. Beta, as it happens at the country level only, also postal ballot comes earlier. So those who are online, kindly post your answers before I go for house divide in the class here. सीख जाएंगे ना खेल खेल में कि सर पोस्टल बैलेट बाद में होता है, पहले फर्स्ट. So first of all, we will have online answers with us. Soma Anand, quick. Nikita. Fine. House divide here. Who all are with A? The division of votes you know na, but only thing we do not have A's or nays, we have more. हमारे यहाँ 4 options हैं. पार्लियामेंट में तो A's nays रहता है, और you can abstain also. Third भी है वहाँ पे. But here no one will abstain from voting. I am starting it. None of you will abstain from voting, and don't see ma'am. You are visible to me. Hello. No problem. Don't be sorry at all. टेक्नोलॉजी है तो चोरी तो करनी चाहिए टेक्नोलॉजी करके. Whenever possible. नहीं देख रहा है तो कर लो. बट यहाँ तो विजिबल हो ना बेटा, क्लास में होगा. Try to understand that. Fine friends. So no one will abstain from voting. Here we go. Who all are with A? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. A was Ministry of External Affairs. देखिए आपका बहुत लोगों ने साथ छोड़ दिया. Initially they were all were saying. Anyway, no problem. Who all are with B? You are with B. Fine. Who all are with C? Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, fine. And who all are with D? D, some of you have not raised your hand. So you automatically will be marked with D. Fine. Correct answer is Ministry of Home Affairs. That's the right answer. सर हमारे घर में आएगा तो जाहिर बात है गृह मंत्रालय. Try to understand it. They will decide whether something is someone's visit is safe or not. All those things. Is there existing any threat to that person also? So all these things are stated with that. Passport is with Ministry of External Affairs. Issuing of passport is with Ministry of External Affairs. Visa is with Ministry of Home Affairs. Anyway, simple question. So, idea of citizenship is also important, which we will be studying in population. So, OCI and NRI difference will be known to us. Whether overseas citizens of India is the same as NRI? No. NRI is an Indian citizen and overseas citizen of India is nothing but a foreign passport holder allowed some concessions. That's all. Right, sir? So, third is what? Organized government. Third feature of the state is organized government. And fourth is sovereignty. Right, sir? Got some idea? So this is where I enter into state. Now, some others after state, second principle that I will like to give you an idea of is rule of law. This is also discussed a lot. Rule of law. Kavya, third was organized government and fourth was sovereignty. Fine. Now we are understanding rule of law. In the basic connotation, it simply means that law is supreme and everyone is equal before it. So it means you will say, sir, okay, Article 14 equality before law. Yes. But what it really, if you have to write about it, what you will be writing? It simply talks about that no one will have any sort of privileges. So rule of law is an arrangement which speaks that no special privileges for any group or any class of citizens. If I go to A.V. Dicey, with whom this term surfaced, is said to have surfaced, he talked that rule of law is an arrangement through which we will be able to overcome the anomalies, the dysfunctional aspects of droid administrative, a French arrangement. बच्चे डर गए, लिखा देता हूं पहले. Otherwise so many terms came. ये क्या नई चीज है? Please write. It's very much something you are aware of. But yes, terminology, sir, we need to know. And as it is your first class, so you will slowly pick up the terminology. I am using only that terminology which UPSC sometimes can surprise you with. Because A.V. Dicey's rule of law, sir, is nothing but a corrective measure to the French system of droit administrative. So it means we need to know that also. We need to write our answer in respect of that. ठीक है? Please write. Give the heading rule of law and then I will explain. पहले थोड़ा सा लिख लेते हैं. Please write. Rule of law is one of the essential principles of modern state arrangements. Rule of law is one of the essential principle of modern state arrangements. Second point means what it means. It simply provides for an understanding that law is supreme and everyone shall be treated equal before the law. Third point, it also provides an understanding that special privileges are not given to any group, any class of citizens or to any legal person. Next point, it was A.V. Dicey. It was A.V. Dicey who gave this principle to avoid any sort of dysfunctional aspects. Dysfunctional की spelling मालूम है? You all know the spelling. What is it? DYS है ना? DY बेटा. Dysfunctional. To avoid any sort of dysfunctional aspects of droit administrative, droit administrative, pronounced as droit administrative, बट हमें वहां तो प्रोनाउंस करना नहीं है, तो स्पेलिंग ज्यादा याद करनी ज्यादा बेटर है. ड्रॉइट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव. क्लियर सर? ड्रॉइट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव, a French system in which after comma, a French system in which state officials are treated under separate set of rules. Under separate set of rules headed by Council d'État. council of the state, council d'etat. Here are courts of law. So there are two separate set of rules. One is droit administrative, means administrative law, rules for administrators, and other is general public law. Other is general public law. Okay. This is an arrangement where rule of law is there. This one. This is an arrangement where rule of law is there, because here sits courts of law. Here we will have this administrative law. Under it only, this will be constitutional law, and this will be other laws. Okay? So here if tribunals are there, here tribunals will be sitting. Who will be deciding? Can you go against the judgment of a tribunal to courts of law in France? No. You can go only to Council d'Etat, which is headed by the president. Now president, at that time Napoleon Bonaparte, he started it. Headed by the executive only. So sir, his subordinates have actually decided something. You are going to their superior, and if not, then you are going to the executive only. What are the chances of getting justice? High or low? Low. Come this side. Here tribunals will be here. So in India, whether against the decision of a tribunal, you can go to courts of law? Yes or not? Decision of NGT, can it be challenged in Supreme Court? Yes, any tribunal you will say. You will say, sir, only the question can be that whether it can be in lower court or not. कोर्ट में तो हो ही सकता है सर, ये तो पक्की बात है. Why? Because it is a subset of the overall arrangement. Only equivalence का ही तो झगड़ा रहेगा if any issue will be there of equivalence. Like a decision given by CAT, Central Administrative Tribunal, can be challenged where? Can it be challenged in a high court? Can it be challenged in a Supreme Court? तो आप कहेंगे सर पहले तो एक चीज क्लियर है, it can be challenged in a court of law. No doubts in it. Now second thing about it will only come that whether it is given equivalence to high court. Are you understanding it? If not, then definitely high court also can take up a case. Okay. At that time it was known as Madras. Madras bench of Central Administrative Tribunal and Madras High Court took the appeal stating that see Article 226 is not having any limiting arrangement. Sorry. And you are not a high court. Even if a retired judge of high court may be its member, that is chairperson, or a person who is eligible to become a high court judge may be its chairperson, still that will not make it high court. ज्यादा से ज्यादा आप क्या कह सकते हैं? मद्रास हाई कोर्ट सेड you can only say one thing, that if earlier it has been by CAT, so minimum 2 judge bench of high court shall hear the matter. ये बात तो समझ में आती है, that we can comprehend. Like beta 5 judge bench has given its verdict on something in Supreme Court. If that has to be reviewed, what will be the system? Shabash, 7 judgment. Something by 7 already done, 9, 11, 13, you can go ahead. So you cannot say. So it means, आप कहेंगे सर इस झगड़े को छोड़ते हैं, it's too early to talk about tribunals. I got one meaning that let it be NCT, NGT, let it be anything, if a decision has been given by tribunal, definitely courts have the right to hear the appeals to it. There the word beta will come, appellate authority. Whether courts can be appellate authority to the decisions given by tribunals. ठीक है sir? So in rule of law, this is the pre-type question. One more pre-type arrangement is there, sir. We say that in principle we are having rule of law, but what about privileges which our MPs are having? आजकल तो चर्चा में है. Nowadays it is definitely in news. Okay, and in news is because for various reasons that as 5-judge bench in its verdict in 1990s has said that see, voting on the floor of the house cannot be questioned whether it was for money or without money. So a case cannot be registered. But our Justice Chandrachud sir has said 7-judge bench, देखते हैं भाई, कोई चोरी करेगा तब भी नहीं कर सकते. What type of privileges are these? So they are going to reconsider it. For your pre-examination, you are getting an idea that sir, in criminal they can be arrested. Okay. In civil they have when the session is going on, but in criminal they definitely can be arrested even during the session. Okay, fine. Then you will say, sir, what about president? What about governor? You will be recalling Article 361. Okay, you will be recalling that article and you will say, sir, they are having some sort of exemptions. They are having some sort of exemptions. ये भी प्री में आ सकता है. But when it comes for mains, do not hesitate in saying that still we are rule of law country. Why? Because the chair has been given any sort of exception, not the holder. As soon as he will be out of chair, every case, everything can be carried out against that person. Are you understanding the difference? In Scotland, in Ireland, in France, okay, and even in England, they preach us, let me give you their rule of law. AV Dicey के बाद से सुधरा है थोड़ा. They have come. Sir, Mr. Scott, suppose was on chair, correct sir? And that chair under their conventions or rules is having immunity. So sir, Mr. Scott, when that will not be on that chair also, still was exempted. हमारे यहाँ नहीं है ऐसा. It's not like this in our country. We only respect the chair. And once you come down of that chair, I can punish you like an ordinary citizen. Article 14, equality before law, immediately will apply for you. So, rule of law is violated in India with these privileges? No. It is only for time being. It is only for time being. लिख लेंगे ना means में, will you be able to write? This question is possible. So, be like this, that no, my country is great and we follow rule of law. Though it may appear that there are certain positions which have been given certain exemptions. But no sir, as soon as they will be out of chair, they can be tried even for criminal cases. Right beta? So, rule of law, you got some idea now? Are you having the idea what is rule of law? So it is absence of privileges. UPSC will use these type of sentences. I think you can identify it. Okay? Shall I give you a pre-type question on it also? पढ़ लीजिए अच्छे से, मन भर के पढ़ लीजिए, मन भरेगा गाना है ना. So you read it and अच्छा आपके तो ऊपर ही लिखा हुआ है. Okay, no worries. On the same page you will be writing the question. One favor you can do to me, that questions you write somewhere else, so that I will be able to give you questions even on that very thing which I have written at that time only. Otherwise you will read it now. चलिए देखते हैं, can I make a question? Let's see. Let me try to dare first of all. Please write. Which of the following, friends who are online, take the question. Which of the following best explains the idea of rule of law? A. Public officials will not have any rules for their administrative functioning. B. State authorities will not have any protection from application of law. C. Absence of privileges as a general principle. D. Courts of law. Rakhi, I will repeat, hai na? Let me complete. Courts of law will have exclusive powers on all other organs of the state. On all other organs of the state. Full stop. I have to repeat point number A. What was option A?
Public officials will not have any rules for their administrative functioning.
Rakhi A is public officials will not have any rules for their administrative functioning. Unanimous answer is coming, huh? Very good. Right or wrong, we will see later. Others, give the answer. Fine. Here, house divide. Who all are with A? Quick. B. C. You are with? Where? You are with D. Okay, I will come later. First of all, with someone was B with B also. Who was with B? C. Raise one hand again. D. Sir, कैसे ढूंढा D? C is boldly shouting, I am the answer. तब भी ढूंढ लिया ना? यही UPSC का गेम है. We will write the statement in such a manner that it will appear correct. Don't you think it is looking like judicial despots, where judiciary can be despotic? D is actually referring something like to this. And C is very clearly shouting there. Everyone online also has given C. But this is the beauty of UPSC. When we have read, you must have read it earlier also. That's why you have gone wrong. when we try to read too much in the sentences, we go wrong. Something which is correct is correct. If I am asking you to simply differentiate between apples and mangoes, तो कुछ ज़्यादा मत ढूंढो उनमें. Just identify which are the mangoes and which are apples. Forget it. Other things, pear वगैरह हैं कि बोले सर ये तो नहीं है कहीं mango. No, forget it. Leave it. Pears, bananas, pineapple, छोड़ते जाओ उन्हें basket में. Just take out apples and mangoes. That you should be able to. And mangoes can be of different varieties. So answer can also be written in different language. Statement can be slightly different. Anyway, sir, let's move to third principle that we want to understand. So this is clear. Rule of law, any problem to anyone? Very good. Third, separation of powers. Mohammad Masood, all other three are extreme statements. Yes, that could also have been. That also could have been used, Masood, but easier is if you are able to see the answer. Because sometimes even an extreme statement can be correct. It may be a bold statement and it can be correct. But otherwise you are right. That is also one of the way to analyze UPSC options. Huh? The word is not there because Article 14 is there, na, equality before law. So that straight away is saying, because there it is not written, Article 14, it is not written that no discrimination will be on the basis of sex, caste, nothing. It is saying everyone will be treated equal before the law. Everyone. Everyone means even a river may be taken as legal person. Even a mountain may be taken as a legal person. Animals may be taken as legal person. So that is the idea. And their rights will not be lesser than rights of anyone else. That is true idea of equality before law. So that is why Article 14 child is studied. Later on I will come to it, two components. One is which is directly going to rule of law, equality before law, and other is equal protection of law, and where we say positive discrimination is possible. And this time a question was there. It was on that only. That do you think programs for vulnerable sections are discriminatory in their nature? This time mains question. Have you checked the paper? So now you got it where the question was. Someone who is having a very clear understanding of rule of law and understanding of welfare can easily answer that question. Otherwise, the person will be saying, yes, it is discriminatory because this, rubbish. It is basically to overcome any sort of discrimination that has been there for ages, for traditional reasons or for customary aspects, etc. Right? So that is how it was required to be answered. They will ask you, equal protection of law is in conflict with the thesis of rule of law. Anyway, at that time we will study. But समझ में आना चाहिए, okay, it will touch there. So what I am writing, as I told you, no class shall go waste. We are discussing it on day one, but it will be connected with my fundamental rights when we are touching that. Fine, friends. So now we are writing the third one, na? Separation of powers. लिख लीजिए. And then I will discuss. See child, whenever I talk of separation of powers, I try to identify 3 organs of the government. This is legislature, this is executive, and this is judiciary. Very good. Why legislature has been shown with a circle? Okay, but now the current parliament shape is not this. So I should actually change the shape. Okay, I should change the shape. Means, very good. Parliament shape, Nikita, is wrong. The current parliament building shape is not circle. Okay, please. मैम अगर अमेरिका का दिखाऊंगा तो हाउ विल आई शो? इट विल नॉट बी अ सर्कल. Good, good. All members are equal. Very good. Shabash. Circle simply gives you an idea that in it everyone will be equal. That is why let a person be prime minister will have 1 vote only, na? Or will have more votes? 1. Will have 1 vote. So whether a prime minister, whether a MP of a party that is having the government, or whether a MP of opposition, all will be having 1 vote. Equal privileges for everyone. Breach of privilege, if can be against X MP, it can be against Y as well. Same. That is circle. Anyway, we got it. This is absolutely rightly said. It will always have hierarchical arrangement. That is why Article 53, executive power of the union shall be seen vested in the office of president. And this is judiciary. A balance. Okay? Balance between the law that is there and the need or the need of justice, principle of jurisprudence. So that is why Supreme Court, my child, is having the power to decide even beyond the scope of laws existing. They use Article 142. Why our constitution framers have written Article 142? Somebody will say, sir, because it was framed by advocates only. No, not so. The one who is having this balancing will have to see that whether this law at this time it is this, but do I need to go beyond it? Shahabano case. Shahabano case. Okay, 1986, and then Shaira Bano, 2017. 31 years from there, once again that question surfaced, and they happily went ahead. Correct, sir? So when we see the cases, then we say it means yes, Supreme Court has this function. So they will see appropriateness of jurisprudence principles. If I apply this law, whether justice will be achieved or not. Menka Gandhi case, why it is so popular? Why it is so popular? Because 21 to beta aa gaya, you are absolutely right. But why it is so popular? The reason is, they said, you are making a law that a person cannot go abroad. Why? Do you think the person will never come back? But the property and other things which is here, that is clearly reflecting that he or she will come back. So, how can you make such a law? And then beta the questions are faced, procedure established by law and due process of law. Absolutely right, Mohammed Masood. And what is the basis of due process of law? Appropriateness of law, fairness of law. वही तो हम बात कर रहे हैं, इस बैलेंस से पढ़ा दिया मैंने आपको. It is nothing but a principle of jurisprudence. What is it, sir? Principle of jurisprudence. you make the law because you are the parliament or you are the state legislature. Power है आपकी, you make it. But sir, I can check it because I will do it like this and will say going in favor of ultimately society or against it. And if it is against it, I will say null and void, strike it off. Right, sir? Like Supreme Court under Justice Chandrachud asked government, enough is enough. No more sedition registration cases. Enough, बहुत हो गया. And they asked government, think over it. Otherwise हमें सोचना पड़ेगा. Either you remove it yourself. Otherwise this type of colonial arrangement just to give power to the state governments or any government cannot be allowed. Got it, sir? So how will you answer it? One idea, Mohammad Masood is due process of law beta, but always talk this. That's why I am saying basic सबसे बढ़िया होते हैं. So due process of law also is something that has emanated from here, which talks of appropriateness of any order or any law. Got it? देखिए यहीं आप बैठे बैठे सीख गए ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ क्या है. So parliament can make a law, but out of majority you may make a wrong law. So I can always verify it. वजन रख लूंगा मैं तो. This is side society, national interest, everything. Other side your law. And if I see that your law is actually not balanced, I will strike that. So easy to understand. So separation of powers is one of the essential aspects. And whose name is associated with it? Let's see how well you have gone through NCERTs. Whose name is associated with separation of powers idea? Montesquieu. Very good. A French thinker, Montesquieu. That's right. Please write something about separation of powers. This principle provides for the idea that the power oblique authority of the state, shall not be vested, shall not को underline कर दीजिएगा, please underline the word not, shall not be vested in one single organ as this has been the reason for monarchs, oblique governments going despotic. Meaning of despot, you know? What does it mean? Huh, sir? Absolutist. Who can be absolutist? I want the meaning. Nirankush. On whom there is no control. Only that person will become an absolutist, no? So despot means Nirankush, on whom there is no control. So the thesis of checks and balances समझ में आ गया ना? Why separation of parts? We always use the standard words of thesis of checks and balances because it is against that only. Right, sir? Proceed. Montesquieu observed that power of the state can be seen divided in three major domains hyphen power to legislate, यानी कि power to make laws, rules, power to legislate. If word legislate is not very clear, in bracket you can write power to make laws, rules. Second is power to apply rules. That is power to implement laws. Second is power to implement laws. And third is power related to adjudication. Power related to adjudication. Spelling ADJUDICATION. Adjudicate. Power of adjudication or power related to adjudication of disputes. कहाँ arise होंगे disputes? Arising in the functioning of executive organ, legislative organ. True? So that is the idea of separation of powers. Simple? Any doubts in it? So from here emanates the thesis of checks and balances. लिख लीजिए. कुछ ऐसे keywords होते हैं बेटा which you should never leave when you are writing mains answer. See, 150 words nowadays you have to write, 250 words. So what is important is key case laws and key words. So otherwise all are knowing almost equal, but who are selected? The one who have practiced more of writing key terms. They are selected, and that's why apart from science, mains is more of an art. So that's why you need to practice a lot. Okay. When I have said this, I will try to share with you one of the address by Professor D.P. Agrawal earlier at Aligarh Muslim University when he was the chairman to UPSC. Earlier he was the member also, and then he became the chairperson also. So the reforms of 2011, which started from 2012, was during his tenure only. So everyone is definitely interested in UPSC, and for sure, fantastic services, no doubts in it. No career can be equivalent to the career of a civil servant in this part of Asia for sure. In entire Asia, there is nothing equivalent to your civil services. Very good services. So, students, others who are interested, he's made one statement that will enlighten you. He said that, see, at that time beta around 16,000 were selected for prelims. He said out of the 16,000 who are selected for pre, that is for mains in pre, in my opinion 14 to 15,000 are at par, but only around 1,500 really compete. The students were shocked. What D.P. Agrawal sir meant? He said that in terms of information, all are having at par. So at a tea stall, when people are sharing the ideas, you sometimes feel mesmerized. And when you hear that this person also could not clear, you sometimes feel demotivated also. Okay, you are living in that area. So यहाँ तो ये बहुत होगा. Tea stalls in the evening, juice stalls, juice corners. Don't worry, remember it. He said, it is all the practice that will bring you in those 1,500. how much you practice writing in a relevant manner. Okay, beta? And after 3 years, your new pattern was introduced, where we have started saying 150 words, 200 words, 250 words, not more than this. So answer writing of UPSC is not about that I know so much of rule of law, I will write everything. No, demand. See the demand and write only the important words and concepts associated with that question. Okay? So धीमे धीमे, that's why today's class try to catch key terms associated with everything. Rule of law से क्या term है बेटा? Absence of privileges. Joint administrative, you want to forget, you can forget. Till the time they do not ask, you may not write. If you write, very good. If you don't write, then also good, no problem. But cannot miss the phrase absence of privileges. If you miss that, first of all, you will have to use more words to explain, and second, you are given the other one an expression that you have been just tutored by someone, you do not know it properly. Okay, sir? Let's move to third one. So they have identified 3 domains, and what we see currently, beta, the formation of governments like legislature, name can be anything, it can be Congress, it can be Parliament, it can be anything what they want to talk about, okay? But structure will be more or less similar in all the modern countries which have a system of constitutional arrangement. Okay? All constitutional governments more or less will have similar arrangement. Okay? Now, children, I will like to introduce you to some very important terms which we will use often: equality, liberty. We will talk about the terms like equality, liberty. Okay? So briefly we will write about them. Equality. And then you will see, first of all, I will teach you equality, liberty, then I will come to democracy. It means no democracy can actually function till the time society is lacking in equality and society is lacking in liberty. Natural आपको आना चाहिए ये. So Article 19(1)(a), how it is connected with democracy should naturally come to you. Freedom of speech and expression. You should be saying that, sir, it is based on principles only, nothing else. Based on core. So first of all, equality. What it means? That thesis point, better, you should definitely write. From here emanates the thesis of checks and balances. That I have said. I have not dictated, but I have said it. And ma'am, you entered slightly, I think, late, 5-10 minutes. Okay. No worries. Don't feel like this. Some have entered much after that. So no issues. I said one thing. Keep taking notes of almost everything, either as footnote, because any example, any case that I am giving here is something associated with your examination. Here I am not showing you my strength of knowledge, not at all. Nothing. Okay? Here I am only trying to rather make it more simple. I am trying to use limited examples, very few cases, which I may be using professionally, maybe more, but I am trying to use very less. So it means that is very important. That's why I am using. Okay? Otherwise I would have not used. बोल रहा हूं तो बहुत खास मतलब का होगा. क्वेश्चन भी दिया है. इफ आई हैव गिवन यू एनी क्वेश्चन that is not for the sake of fun, it means this question is highly probable, and almost every 5 years twice it is asked. इतनी heavy probability है इन questions की. Let's learn equality. So what is equality? When we say equality, so generally we recall article 15, 16, 17, 18, 14 is we have already talked about equality before law. So what is actually equality? True equality is what? Tell me. So without teaching, should I give you a question? तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया रहेगा. So let's have some fun. And you try to identify out of them, यार equality क्या होगी इनमें से? What will be equality? Okay? And I will be using all the sentences or terms almost from your constitution or from the polity which you keep hearing. So let's have a question. The term equality is best explained in which of the following? Statement number A. Equals shall be treated equally. Equals shall be treated equally and unequals unequally. B. Every person shall be seen with equal freedom of speech and expression. Initiatives, C, now we are writing C. Initiatives to ensure that concentration of wealth is not in few hands. D. Absence of social stratification. Go ahead. Find out. Tarana was searching for some other answer. Absence of privileges. यहाँ तो आया ही नहीं वो. Rachit, Shreyansh, Anamika. Nikhil is asking me, sir, please repeat C. Sir, C option क्या है?
Initiatives to ensure that concentration of wealth is not in few hands.
Okay. Initiatives to ensure that concentration of wealth is not in few hands. Nikhil, that is option C. Unanimous A is coming. देखो बच्चों, टाइटैनिक ना हो ये. Everyone is boarding, don't be Jack. Unnecessarily boarded Titanic and lost his life. But may be correct also. A may be correct also. I should not influence your answers. Fine. Now we go for house divide in the class. Who all are with A? सर आप बाल ठीक कर रहे हैं या ए पे हाथ उठाया आपने? No, no. You did like this and then you raised also. Acha, you are thinking. Okay, no worries. You are not with A. Who all are with B? C, D, and that's the right answer. Good. Here, the most correct was D only. Out of them, the most correct, though I have used the word social, but stratification was there. Everyone is equal. Absence of stratification means absence of privileges. Yes, A is the principle of equity. Mohammed Masood, it was Titanic. You boarded it, sir. I warned you. But you thought it was a lottery ticket. चलिए कोई बात नहीं, सीख गए. Now we have learnt it. So, UPSC can play like this. The words why you entered A beta, because equal protection of law talks of that only. And you have heard it more. Let me tell you why it happened. You have read it on the same page where equality is written. That's why you are pulled towards that answer. खींच लिया आंसर ने, कहाँ जाओ मेरे पास, कितनी बार पढ़ा है यार मुझे. You have read it so many times and now you are leaving me. दोस्त हो तुम तो मेरे, come. And in the last word, I could have written absence of any stratification. So it would have become easier for you. That's why I purposely entered the word social stratification. So out of these, the most correct was that stratification only, which we have tried to do away with in Article 15, Article 16, Article 17, Article 18. सारे यही हैं. Only Article 14 is there, where we say that legal person. Otherwise, remaining 4 articles are associated with bringing down the structure of any sort of social stratification in India. Right, sir? Got it? Yes, sir, please.
Sociology, so there we study stratification. So we largely consider stratification to be functional. For example, the president has certain kind of immunities. So even that is a hierarchy.
That's right.
Now, that like if president has immunity, then how can we achieve equality?
Sir, you are right. अभी गलत हुआ है, बुरा लगा हुआ, I can understand it. But see, from my perspective, I cannot teach you there. I will teach you as per polity. And that's why I have given you Article 15. What it is? Access to everyone without any sort of stratification. Article 16, in public employment. Article 17, abolishment of any sort of untouchability. Article 18, abolishment of titles. राजा के आगे से राजा हटा दिया तो बराबर खड़ा है ना. ठीक है सर. So when they play with these type of questions, try to understand there. You are actually using the structural functional approach to understand it. Somewhere you talked about it that in functional specification, stratification for privileges also will mean this, and we all ourselves said it. And then what we proved? It was for chair. It was for chair, not for the person. हाँ सर, एरिस्टोटल का बड़ा फेमस स्टेटमेंट है, एंड दैट्स राइट. इट बिकम्स द बेसिस माय चाइल्ड फॉर पॉजिटिव डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. लाइक, हैव यू एवर यूज्ड मेट्रो? You use it? Okay. How many times you have boarded the first coach in the direction of the train moving? Never? अच्छा, आपने चढ़ भी गए. तो फर्स्ट सबसे आगे था. You proved me wrong. अच्छा, you came, no problem, but you shifted to next bogie, na? You shifted to next bogie. What I am saying, you should ask the metro people that how dare you are reserving any coach. Today only I learnt polity, and the idea of equality is very clear to me. The officer when will come, others will not know what you are talking, but the one who will be the officer will tell you that you also must have learnt another principle: equals shall be treated equally and unequals unequally. ठीक है? So I think you got it. Otherwise ये बेटा कर नहीं पाते ना हम any sort of special classification. When I will be teaching you, I will be teaching you the concept of reasonable classification. Otherwise it would have been very difficult how to give any sort of things to anyone else. Like in Champakam, Durai Rajan case, Supreme Court rejected. कि कोई reservation नहीं हो सकता, no privileges. But then we brought First Amendment. Initially, otherwise Supreme Court was very clear that see, there is no privilege option there. But then government came with first constitutional amendment and added 15.3, 15.4 to Article 15, that we can make special provisions in favor of SCs, STs. That is how we started entering. Got it, beta? Then again it went for review. Then Supreme Court said, करा जा सकता है. Why? Because it is written equal protection of law. So yes, equal protection of law is not possible till the time people are not given equal opportunity. And that is why at this time a very good question was there on NALSA, National Legal Service Authority. क्या मतलब है इसका? Why we added Article 39A to DPSP and why in 1987 we passed an act, Legal Service Authority Act, and in 1995 we had NALSA. Why? क्या जरूरत है भाई? क्यों किसी को मुफ्त एडवोकेट दोगे? But then they said, sorry, Justice Bhagwati said, Article 14 is of no use if some people are not in capacity to hire a counsel to put their stand. Justice Bhagwati. And it forced Rajiv Gandhi government to formulate an act. क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने खुद शुरू कर दिया था. जस्टिस भगवती, वेरी पॉपुलर नेम, PIL भी उन्हीं का है. These all are studied with him. So it means it is important. Anyway, we are through with it. So with here only I will have to stop. Okay. And hope you understood something today. Okay. And understanding I can take care later. You should have enjoyed it. Let the questions sir go wrong, no worries. अभी तो बहुत सारे wrong होंगे. But till the time it is in class, no problem. Fine friends, those who are online also, God bless you. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we will continue, and in terms of books, as people want to hear, in the first session, I think I told you, I will require with you, you have a guide that is okay with you, no problem with me, go through that, but finally you will require class notes, because class notes are directed towards your mains and prelims. Okay? So we also keep changing, and that is why I never use anything with me to assist, because those notes can be previous. We see whatever is happening around, and then we frame the concepts to adjust in those cases, because they will become your questions in next 2 to 3 years. वही आएगा आपके एग्जाम में. ठीक है बेटा? So Bayer Act If you are not having, purchase anyone, the cheaper one. But font size should be okay so that you are not stressed in reading it. बेरक खरीदिए, मेरे लिए वो जरूरी है आपके लिए. You should purchase it. And then class notes, have multiple revisions, refer to your books also which you are having, guidebook. Lakshmikant, yes, or any other also. I have no arrangement with Lakshmikant or Tata Magro. So anything which you feel like, it is the most popular, so you can have it. But for basic understanding. NCRT, yes, can be very useful. And otherwise class notes. We will meet tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Atre only 11th and 12th. Mohammad Masood, Lakshmikant, green edition is okay. Don't need to buy new one. Whatever you are having is perfect. Act, beta, whatever is cheaper, I am saying I am not having any arrangement with anyone. It can be universal law, it can be PM Bakshi, whatever you is cheaper in the market, purchase that. हमें सिर्फ articles चाहिए that you can go through and in good font size. Rachit is asking, was principle of equity right in A? Yes, that is correct. A will go for that. Bye-bye.
Yes.
For you. Hi all of you. Good afternoon. Yes, Masood. No, good morning. अभी afternoon हुआ नहीं है. 12 बजे के बाद होगा. Yes, Masood. For some time and online also. So we have Uttam back here. For the first 4, 5, 6 days, we'll see how this process advances. So he has some discussions to do. We think it's important part of building your base. So don't get restless. Polity important hai. You have to ace it. And if this process works with all of us, I'll come back and do something for history also. मुझे पता है ये दो एरिया अगर संभाल गया आप लोगों का, if history, polity, geography, environment is in control, okay, and economy, current affairs, तो then आपका pillar is set. Okay, so थोड़ा extra मेहनत लगेगा, but be patient here. Uttam, what we discussed? ठीक है, so करो. So Uttam sir is taking on.
Thank you, sir. जो भी सुबह पढ़ा है पहले रिवाइज कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू देन। ये नोट्स ले लो। पानी दे दो। ठीक है। First topic we studied, why do we need constitution, right? क्या था, क्या पढ़ा था हमने? हाँ, aspirations of people. It sets basically basic rules, right, for minimal coordination in society. Aspirations कैसे सेट करते हैं? गवर्नमेंट कैसे एस्पिरेशन फुलफिल करती है? पॉलिसीज तो डीपीएसपी ना, डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी, और गुड रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन सिटीजन्स एंड स्टेट, ठीक है? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेसिकली डिफाइंस कि हु हैज द पावर टू मेक डिसीजंस, ठीक है? और इट लिमिट्स गवर्नमेंट, राइट? ठीक है? कैसे लिमिट करता है? आपके फंडामेंटल राइट्स को वो ट्रेसपास नहीं कर सकता, है ना? देन वी स्टडीड बेसिकली मेकिंग अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ना। उससे पहले बैकग्राउंड क्या था? व्हाट वाज द बैकग्राउंड? कंडीशंस क्या क्या थे? पार्टीशन, कम्युनल वायलेंस, और बोलो बोलो। हाँ, इट वॉज अ चैलेंज, पॉवर्टी, इकोनॉमिक डिस्ट्रेस, ठीक है? उस बैकग्राउंड में देयर वाज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली। तो ठीक है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली का ट्रेस करते हैं कैसे बना। तो पहला डिमांड किसने किया था? एम एन रॉय। कब? 1934। देन हाँ, गुड, इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस ने 1935 में ऑफिशियली डिमांड किया। ओके, देन फॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर कब आया? 1940 अगस्त ऑफर, ठीक है? उसके बाद 1942 में भी क्रिस्प मिशन था। देन एट लास्ट कैबिनेट मिशन स्कीम में 1946 में देयर वाज अ फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान, there was a formation of constituent assembly. अब मेकिंग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे आते हैं। पहला मीटिंग कब था? 9 दिसंबर 1946, राइट? Who was the temporary president? Good, Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Who were the vice presidents? Mukherjee, S.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari, है ना? उसके बाद क्या हुआ? 13 दिसंबर को क्या हुआ? ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन। ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन का भी मॉडिफाइड फॉर्म क्या है? ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन को किसने पेश किया था? हु प्रेजेंटेड? जवाहरलाल नेहरू, ठीक है? इसके बाद क्या हुआ था? इंडिया इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट आता है, ठीक है. इट मेड 3 चेंजेस. इट मेड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली सोवेरेन, डिस्कस किया था हमने. और गुड, मेड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली सोवेरेन. दूसरा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली कैन नाउ ऑल्सो फंक्शन एज अ लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी. तो एक वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना रही है, ठीक है, एंड एज अ अदर बॉडी इट इज मेकिंग नॉर्मल ऑर्डिनरी लॉज. व्हेन इट मेट एज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट बॉडी, कौन प्रेसिडेंट था? डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद, है ना. एंड व्हेन इट मेट एज अ ऑर्डिनरी लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी, कौन प्रेसिडेंट था? तो डॉक्टर जीवी मलवनकर, ठीक है. इतना हो गया था. इसके बाद हाँ, अदर फंक्शंस ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली क्या क्या था? ठीक है. फ्लैग कब अडॉप्ट हुआ? राइट. एंथम एंड सॉन्ग 1950, राइट. एंड 1949 में, सॉरी 9 में कॉमनवेल्थ का मेंबरशिप मिला. हाँ, ये जस्ट द पॉइंट उतना इंपॉर्टेंट है नहीं. जस्ट नो टू, मतलब थोड़ा बहुत जान जाओ, बस उतना इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है नहीं. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. जो फैक्ट्स डिस्कस किए वो याद रहेगा, आई होप याद रहेगा. ठीक है, एक बार घर जाके थोड़ा रिवाइज भी कर लेना. देन वी आर मोर फोकसिंग ऑन नाउ कमिटीज. इसमें प्रीलिम्स के क्वेश्चन फंस सकते हैं या फिर ऑप्शन एलिमिनेशन में हेल्प करता है. ठीक है, तो देयर वाज 2 कमिटीज, मेजर कमिटी एंड माइनर कमिटीज. अब फॉर प्रीलिम्स पर्पस आवर मेन फोकस इज ऑन मेजर कमिटीज, है ना. तो देयर वेर यूनियन प्रोविंसेस कमिटी, write down, there were union powers committee headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Second, there was union constitution committee headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Third, states committee, in bracket committee for negotiating with states, again headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. ठीक है, याद करने का तरीका है PCS. ठीक है, याद ऐसा करेंगे कि भूले ना. PCS याद रहेगा, प्रोविंशियल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड नेगोशिएटिंग विद स्टेट्स. ठीक है, प्रोविंशियल पावर्स, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड नेगोशिएटिंग विद स्टेट्स. ठीक है, आगे बढ़े. नाउ कमिटीज अब पढ़ेंगे तो 2-3 जो लीडर्स हैं वो जो कमेटी हेड करेंगे, दैट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वन इज नेहरू, सेकंड इज पटेल एंड वन इज राजेंद्र प्रसाद. इसको पता होना चाहिए. तो पटेल कौन सी कमेटी हेड किए थे? एक मिनट. प्रोफेसर मित्रा याद रहेगा, प्रोफेसर मित्रे. अब देखो पटेल ने क्या किया था. प्रोविंशियल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कमेटी लिखो, प्रोविंशियल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कमेटी, कमेटी ऑन फंडामेंटल राइट्स, minorities, MI, minorities, tribals, TR से tribals, and E for excluded areas. ठीक है, ये याद रहेगा प्रोफेसर मित्र। तो क्या होगा ना, देखो ये प्रीलिम्स में आए ना आए आपके मॉक में जरूर आएगा। ठीक है, इजी हो जाता है टू स्कोर 2 मार्क्स और इजीली याद रह पाते हो, एकदम हार्ड फैक्ट नहीं लगेगा ये। दीज वर द कमिटीज, मेजर कमिटीज, माइनर कमिटीज याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन लक्ष्मीकांत से एक बार रीड मारना है आपको, है ना। अब मेन कमिटी की तरफ आते हैं, विच इज द ड्राफ्टिंग कमिटी। ठीक है, मूवी देखा है आप लोगों ने? मूवी देखते हो क्या, राइट? बैटमैन देखा है? बैटमैन मूवी देखी है? देखी होगी। द डार्क नाइट देखा होगा, डार्क नाइट राइजेस देखा होगा, राइट? ठीक है, तो बैटमैन का रोल क्या था वैसे? एक स्ट्रॉन्ग मोरल जस्टिस प्रोवाइड करना, ठीक है, एक सेंस ऑफ जस्टिस लाना सोसाइटी में, उसका ये था, राइट? मोरली करेक्ट रहना। ठीक है, तो ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी को भी हम लोग बोलेंगे ये हमारे बैटमैन है। ठीक है, बैटमैन बोल देंगे, बहुत लोग हैं। ठीक है, बी फॉर बी आर अम्बेडकर, राइट? बी फॉर बी आर अम्बेडकर, डार्क नाइट, गुड। ठीक है, ए फॉर डॉक्टर एन गोपालस्वामी अयंगर, अयंगर से ए, राइट? एन गोपालस्वामी अयंगर। टी से टी कृष्णमचारी, टी कृष्णमाचारी। एम से डॉक्टर के एम मुंशी, डॉक्टर के एम मुंशी। ए से अल्लड़ी कृष्णा स्वामी अय्यर, अल्लड़ी कृष्णा स्वामी अय्यर। ए से अल्लड़ी कृष्ण स्वामी अय्यर। एन से एन माधव राव, एन माधव राव, RAU। ठीक है, एस से सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला, सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला। या हाँ, FR इज फंडामेंटल राइट। देखो एक कमिटी एक ही है, ठीक है, पटेल ने जो हेड किया था, इसको जब क्वेश्चन से पूछता है तो तोड़ तोड़ के पूछता है। ठीक है, तो बेसिकली PRO इज प्रोविंशियल कमिटी, प्रोविंशियल कमिटी ऑन फंडामेंटल राइट्स, माइनॉरिटीज, ट्राइबल्स एंड एक्सक्लूडेड एरियाज, ये एक ही साथ था। ठीक है, हाँ, एस से सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला। याद रहेगा ये बैटमैन्स, है ना? ये प्री में आएगा ही, मॉक में क्वेश्चन कहीं ना कहीं आएगा ही, UPSC में भी। एन हाँ, अयंगर कमिटी, इट हैज बीन आस्क्ड, ठीक है, इन सम ऑफ द अदर फॉर्म। तो क्या होता है, जब आइडिया रहता है आपको ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी कब बनी थी, ठीक है, तो उसका टाइमलाइन क्या होगा, यू कैन इजीली रिलेट एंड एटलीस्ट एलिमिनेट ऑप्शन, है ना? ठीक है, और 2-3 फैक्ट लिख लीजिए फ्रॉम एस। सैयद, एक मिनट, सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला, सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला। Is it visible? ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स इज इट विजिबल? आप लोगों को दिख रहा है क्या मेरे? हाँ ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है। कहाँ से नहीं दिख रहा? ए से? ठीक है। सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला, ठीक है। हाँ बीच में आ गया, क्या नहीं दिख रहा है बताओ ना, बता दे रहा हूँ मैं। सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला। अब 2-3 फैक्ट्स ही बस हैं, ठीक है। कुछ फैक्ट्स लिख लीजिए। एलिफेंट वॉज द सिंबल, एलिफेंट वॉज द सिंबल in bracket seal, elephant was the symbol in bracket seal of the constituent assembly. Second point, B.N. Rao, B.N. Rao, R.A.U., B.N. Rao was the constitutional advisor, was the constitutional advisor to Constituent Assembly. Now we'll move towards enactment of the Constitution. अब deliberations हुए, ठीक है, discussions हुए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस को अडॉप्ट करना है, इनैक्ट करना है। कब हुआ था? कब हुआ था? नवंबर 26 1949। यस, 2 साल डिलिब्रेशन चले, 1946 47 से 49 तक। अब नवंबर 26 को बोलते क्या है? एनी आइडिया? गुड, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डे है ना। तो इस वजह से बोलते हैं बिकॉज सम पार्ट्स ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वेर enacted in November 26 1949, right? But the major part of the constitution was enforced कब हुआ था? उसके बाद 26 जनवरी 1950, right? इसको क्या बोलते हैं? 26 जनवरी को क्या बोलते हैं? रिपब्लिक डे, ठीक है। वैसे 26 जनवरी को ही क्यों डेट चूज किया था? लाहौर सेशन कोड, ठीक है। यू नो द फैक्ट्स हैं। तो बस आज के लिए इतना ही। एक लास्ट सेंटेंस लिख लो, लास्ट सेंटेंस कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अडॉप्ट होने के बाद वी द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, we the people of India in Constituent Assembly adopted, enacted and gave to themselves this constitution. वो है ना मूवी डायलॉग, ये तोहफा हमने खुद को दिया है, तो सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक दैट, ठीक है। हाँ, दिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। तो रिवाइज कीजिए इसको, ठीक है। एक बार PYQs भी देखेंगे, ठीक है। बाद में आप लोग देखना कि किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस हैं, विल गेट अ सेंस ऑफ दैट, गेटिंग इट। अभी क्लास है आपकी, ऑप्शनल की क्लास है। ओके, थैंक यू ऑल।